Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. 7 Op Hus. Chapter 121. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Brother Mu Feng, I didn't expect your speed to be so fast. Looking at Mu Feng, Kizaru said in surprise. Senior Porcelino was modest. If it weren't for a suitable refracting surface on the sea, I'm afraid you would have come to the Chambord Islands long ago. Mu Feng smiled. Kizaru scratched his head and said dejectedly. Anyway, Mu Feng, you are the Chambordian Islands that arrived before me. Then Kaido will leave it to me. Charlotte Linlin will leave it to Mu Feng. Where are we going now? Go to the Hunters Guild. If Senju Hashirama, Pluto, Rayleigh, and their mysterious president are all there, we won't have to act at all. Mu Feng said. Of course he knew that Senju Hashirama and the president of the Hunter Guild were definitely not there. But with my current identity as a white bear, I definitely can't say it, and of course I have to do a full set of acting. Well, it's best to do this. Kizaru nodded and said. 10 as everyone knows, he has stepped into the pit that Mu Feng dug for him. Dingaling. Dingaling. Pushing open the door of the Hunters Guild, a crisp wind bell rang. Mu Feng and Kizaru walked in. Yeah, isn't this the famous Pluto, Rayleigh? It's a legend, and it seems to be scared. Kizaru said in a weird voice. Advertisement. Rayleigh didn't know what he was up to. Mu Feng and Kizaru walked in without looking up, because Mu Feng had told Rayleigh before that they would come, so Rayleigh would not be surprised. It wasn't until Kizaru finished speaking that Rayleigh looked up and said. Oh, it's Kizaru Admiral and Admiral the White Bear. I'm not a Pluto, Rayleigh right now, just an old guy in the Hunters Guild. Is there anything for the two Admiral? If you want to release the mission, it will take 2 days up. Rayleigh helped the small round eyes on the bridge of his nose and spoke. Looking at the appearance of Senior Rayleigh, did something happen? Mu Feng asked naturally. Don't you Marine know? Rayleigh said. Surprised. Know what? Kizaru asked naturally. Kaido and Charlotte Linlin are on their way to the Chambord Islands, and their target is our Hunters Guild. An old guy like me can't beat the two of them. Naturally, I want to run quickly. Rayleigh is expected. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Nani. Kizaru's face was dazed. I can't turn my mind a bit. Shouldn't it be active at this time? What? A posture of running away. Where are Senju Hashirama and your president? Mu Feng also pretended to be surprised. Rayleigh looked at Kizaru and Mu Feng like, don't you know? Didn't the two of them take your marine mission? I'm working now, but I don't have time to come back and pay attention to the affairs of the guild. If there is nothing else, I will leave first. Shachi, Ainalu, your things have you packed up yet? Advertisement. In the end, Rayleigh apparently ignored Mu Feng and Kizaru. Rayleigh, Shachi and Aini rode, as well as the 4 priests, simply took the packed packages and walked out of the Hunter Guild in front of Mu Feng and Kizaru. The huge Hunter Guild became empty in an instant, leaving only Mu Feng and Kizaru. Kizaru has a feeling of falling in the autumn wind. However, after a while, a smile suddenly appeared on the wretched face, and he said, yeah, the Hunters Guild has run away. Actually, it's not bad after thinking about it. At least the battle between the Hunters Guild and Charlotte Linlin and Kaido I can't get up. Yo, it's an easy task. Mu Feng, would you like to have a couple of drinks? I know that there is a shop in the Chambord Islands that has a very nice lady. Kizaru's face shows that the man understands it. Expressions. What a naive silly monkey. Fell into the pit I dug for you. Do you think you can crawl out so quickly? Mu Feng secretly said in his heart. The look on his face became more serious. Looking at Kizaru, he said, Senior Pelusolino, what you think is a bit too simple. I think the next situation is not optimistic. What's the matter? Kizaru looked puzzled. Mu Feng continued. Kaido and Charlotte Linlin are already on their way, and the Hunters Guild has already gone to the building. Without seeing Senju Hashirama, I think Kaido and Charlotte Linlin will only become more angry. These two guys started to get angry, but the 6 relatives don't recognize it. So, the unlucky ones will only be the Chambord Islands. Hearing Mu Feng's words, Kizaru's face grew darker and darker. He seemed to feel like he had fallen into a deep hole. The only thing he didn't know was that this deep hole was dug out for him by Mu Feng. Advertisement. Seek help from the headquarters, Kizaru said. As an old fritters, the first thing you must have is self-knowledge. 387 Kizaru knows very well. Although he is at the peak of Admiral's combat power, he is still much worse than the four Emperors class powerhouses. In a short battle, with the speed of sparkling fruit, he can deal with the four Emperors class. But after a long time, there are only two roads left. To be defeated, and to run away. With sparkling fruit's ability, Kizaru wants to run, no one can stop it. However, a Marine Admiral was beaten by a pirate to run away. It's because Kizaru has a thick-skinned face and a bit unbearable, so naturally he wanted to ask Naval Headquarters for help. Senju Hashirama, Hunter Guild. Get out for the old lady. Suddenly, an angry roar sounded. Hearing this voice, Kizaru's face became even more embarrassed. Because this voice belongs to Charlotte Linlin. Obviously, the four Emperors have arrived. Even if Kizaru is reluctant and has a different position, he has to face it at this moment. Thinking about the horror of the four Emperors, Kizaru only felt his scalp tingling. Let's go, Senior Porcellino. Let's face it. Asking Naval Headquarters for help, Marine from the Chambord branch will do it for us. Mu Feng said with a smile. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 122. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Charlotte Linlin and Kaido, full of murderous aura, appeared in the port of Chambord Island number 1 island. The two had just appeared, and within half a minute, the people in the harbor disappeared completely. Even if they don't know each other, the first time they see them, they are all scared. The person who recognizes them is even more horrified. Yes. Yes. Charlotte Linlin and Kaido. 4 Emperors. How did the four Emperors come to Chambord Islands? And it seems that the two of them are teaming up. Could it be? The two of them came here to attack the Hunter Guild. 4 Emperors joined forces. This has never happened before. What are you doing so fast? Idiot. Run quickly. This kind of monster-level powerhouse battle is not something we can join. Run if you don't want to die. Oh. Yes, get out of here. Many onlookers chose to leave the Chambord Islands at the first time, but of course some people who died chose to stay. After all, the battle of 4 Emperors level powerhouses, most of them, it is difficult to see in a generation. A chance. Kizaru and Mu Feng, neither of them is slow. Advertisement. After a few breaths of Charlotte Linlin's roar, Kizaru and Mu Feng appeared in front of them. Upon seeing Mu Feng's first glance, Kaido's pupils shrank suddenly. The hatred in the eyes is overwhelming, and the reason for all this is the marine white bear. If it weren't for Mu Feng to kill the drought Jack, then it won't trigger a war in the Red-Haired Sea, and naturally it won't have anything to do with the Hunters Guild. But in the end, Kaido suppressed his anger. He said in a deep voice, Marine, I don't want to provoke you. I smashed the Hunters Guild and broke Senju Hashirama's neck, and I immediately returned to New World. Quote. Marine, don't block my mother's way, or my mother will take your lifespan out to make desserts. Marine Admiral's lifespan desserts, my mother hasn't eaten them yet. Charlotte Linlin said. Compared to Kaido, Charlotte Linlin is more brutal. Senju Hashirama is not in the Chambord Islands, and the Hunters Guild is empty. If the two are here for this, then you can go back. Mu Feng said coldly. In the face of Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, Mu Feng was not at all polite at all. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Go back. Are you kidding? Even if Senju Hashirama is not there and the hunter's house is empty, I will tear it down. Kaido roared. Kaido, don't forget that this is not New World. Mu Feng's voice became colder. White Bear, what do you mean? Kaido's expression condensed, and he squinted at Mu Feng and said, are you trying to stop me? Then don't blame me for ignoring that this is the Chambord Islands and attacking Marine. You can try it, Mu Feng said. All the words meant to provoke Kaido, but he was afraid that Kaido wouldn't do anything, so that his next plan would be ruined. Advertisement. However, Mu Feng obviously overestimated Kaido's endurance. When I saw Mu Feng, Kaido was already on the verge of an explosion. At this moment, Mu Feng gave a slight stimulation and decisively broke out. Humph. Then I'll kill you first. Kaido's eyes flashed with a chill. Armament Hockey's wrapped fist suddenly attacked. Under Kaido's rush, the ground beneath his feet could no longer bear the tremendous force and cracked. Facing Kaido's attack, Mu Feng obviously didn't mean to be hard-headed. Uncontrollably retreat back. At the same time, he looked at Kizaru and smiled. Senior Pelusilino, hurry up. Don't forget, I just said it, Kaido will leave it to you. Quote. Kizaru was dumbfounded. I only feel that a 10,000-headed grass mud horse rushes past my heart. Kizaru wanted to cry. I obviously didn't do anything next to me, so why is it my business again? But there is no way. Whoever lets himself lose the game just now, bite the bullet and have to go, although Kizaru is indeed an old fritters, but there are still betting products. Kick at the speed of light. Kizaru hit Kaido's chest with a kick, and Kaido retreated 3 steps in a row. Compared with Hulk, Kaido doesn't know how much worse it is in terms of strength or defense. Only resilience can compete with Hulk, but it is estimated that it is still insufficient. To tell the truth, Hulk's strength is absolutely complete for emperors, but Nehi only has a 30-day period. Advertisement. Quote. Backquote Kizaru, are you going to stop me? Kaido said in a murderous manner. Oh, it's terrible. Anyway, I'm also Marine Admiral. Kizaru obviously didn't mean to compromise. Then die for me. Kaido's fist hit Kizaru directly. Kaido's arm was wrapped around armament hockey, and Kizaru naturally didn't dare to hold it like this. Put your hands together, and when you opened it again, a golden long sword suddenly appeared. Sky Cloud Sword. Kizaru exclaimed. The cloud sword in the sky blocked Kaido's fist, and then he fought Kaido together. He didn't mean to be head-on with Kaido at all. Relying on his own speed, Kizaru couldn't help but dodge, and his mouth kept talking strange things that made people itch. What can't be beat? It's so powerful. But Kaido is even more angry. The hand attack, Jiao Haohao, also became more and more violent. Kizaru and Kaido have already fought in a group, and here. Mu Feng looked at Charlotte Linlin and said, For Emperor's Charlotte Linlin, I wonder if you would like to return to Cake Island obediently. Return to Cake Island. Huh. When the old lady destroys the Hunters Guild, she will naturally go back. Charlotte Linlin said with a bad face. Suddenly, she frowned and said, Marine Admiral, Mu Feng, the White Bear. I have never seen you before. But why? Your soul breath makes me feel so familiar, as if where I have seen it. Hearing Charlotte Linlin's words, Mu Feng couldn't help but feel stunned. He used the transformation technique to become Senju Hashirama. No matter his height, face, temperament, all have undergone drastic changes, even the person who is most familiar with him will never notice. The two are the same. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 123. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. However, no matter how Mu Feng's appearance changes, the soul will not change at all. As a soul fruit-powered person, Charlotte Linlin is naturally very sensitive to the soul. But for a while, he couldn't distinguish Mu Feng's soul breath. Hearing Charlotte Linlin's words, Mu Feng's heart suddenly shuddered. The killing intent is even more visible in the eyes. The identity of Senju Hashirama cannot be dismantled by Charlotte Linlin, otherwise he will defect from Marine 100%. Looking at Charlotte Linlin, who frowns as if thinking. Mu Feng directly interrupted. Since you are not going to return to the New World, then, let me learn about your strength as the 4 emperors. He suddenly pulled out the mammoth blade and slashed it directly to Charlotte Linlin. Of course Mu Feng can't let Charlotte Linlin think anymore. Otherwise, if it makes her think, and then yells out, it will be troublesome. Kizaru is still watching, so he can't let him know. The fierce sword aura cut through the air, blasted towards the ant. 023 However, the ant did not dodge, nor did she cover her body with armament hockey. She only used her body to hold Mu Feng's sword aura with her invulnerable skin, which was extremely terrifying. In fact, think about it, whether it's Whitebeard, Kaido, Red Hair, Ant, every 4 emperors can be described as a living protagonist, one more terrifying than one. Damn. Charlotte Linlin let out an angry growl. Advertisement. When she was interrupted to think, she was naturally very angry, but she also left the matter behind and slapped Mu Feng directly. Life desert 50 years. Obviously, Charlotte Linlin wants to extract the life of Mu Feng. However, Mu Feng already knew the weakness of this trick. If he had no fear in his heart, he would naturally not be taken away from his life. Charlotte Linlin's palm had nothing to gain and returned without success. Then his face became more and more gloomy. It is worthy of being the white bear who has been hailed as the strongest admiral. Facing my fruit ability, there is no fear in my heart. It is stronger than the original 3 admiral. Although Kizaru has been fighting with Kaido, he still pays attention to the battlefield between Mufeng and Charlotte Linlin. When he heard what Charlotte Linlin said, his face was a little embarrassed, because Charlotte Linlin said 3 admiral, but he has his own. However, Kizaru was unable to refute it, because when he was fighting against Charlotte Linlin, he did not dare to confront it head-on. Then, what do you want to explain? Or as 4 emperors, you only have this ability. Mufeng looked at Charlotte Linlin, his words were full of provocations. He wants to make Charlotte Linlin angry, more angry. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. I would ignore the familiarity of my own soul breath. White Bear. You are provoking me. Even if you are Marine Admiral, you will die today. The bloodshot eyes of Charlotte Linlin's eyes were exposed. The whole body was even more murderous, and he shouted sharply. Then he raised his left hand, and the dark and strange soul matter wandered at his fingertips. Suddenly, this soul substance poured into the white clouds in the sky. Advertisement. Suddenly the sky became gloomy. The black clouds became thicker and thicker, as if the sky was sinking, and a muffled thunder-like sound came from it. This is Charlotte Linlin's left-hand thundercloud. It's so scary. Auntie is indeed known as the woman who can make the weather obey her. Now, Marine's White Bear is in danger. Quick. BACJ, get out of here, or we will be done too. The pirates around watching the battle couldn't stand it anymore, and fled one after another. Although they haven't seen 4 emperors-level battles before, it is clear that life is more important. Rumble. After brewing for a long time, finally a thunder and lightning that was thicker than a bucket fell straight down. In this Setsuna, it seems that only this dazzling thunder and lightning can be seen between the sky and the earth. Compared with the mighty power of the sky and the earth, Mufeng looks extremely small. Drink. Good. Mufeng shouted loudly, and his sharpness as a swordsman was suddenly revealed. The pale sword aura hits the thunder and lightning directly. The next moment, collide with the falling thunder in the sky. Mufeng's kendo cultivation has reached the level of supreme swordsman surpassing the swordsman. Advertisement. There was no problem with the lightning made by Charlotte Linlin. The terrifying sword energy split the thunder and lightning, and even the black clouds in the sky split a hole. The falling thunder that was split was scattered into countless thunder and lightning, which fell on the surrounding ground. Suddenly, the entire battlefield ground was blasted into scorched black by thunder and lightning. Damn it! Seeing her offense failed to work, Charlotte Linlin was naturally angry. He gritted his teeth, suddenly raised his right hand, and shouted. Sun. Prometheus. Soul energy accumulates on the right hand, which is poured into the top of the sky. The soul energy had accumulated to a certain point, and suddenly began to burn violently. It became crimson, like a shining sun, with terrifying heat waves hitting one after another. The earth became dry, and the sea was also steamed with thick mist. Zeus thundercloud. Prometheus heavenly fire. The azure blue thunders mixed with crimson flames fell from the sky. The angry Charlotte Linlin would not care so much. The entire Chambord Island No. 1 was within her attack range. Those pirates who wanted to stay and watch the battle at first were the most pitiful. When they realized Charlotte Linlin's horror, but it was too late. Some were roasted into coke by the fire in the sky. Some were bombarded into coke by the falling thunder. Anyway, after removing the 4 monsters that were fighting, there were no more living creatures. And far away on Island GR13, Aunt Shaw's bargaining bar. Seeing the devastating sight of Island No. 1, Rayleigh couldn't help feeling. 4 emperors are really terrifying monsters. I don't know how the white bear would deal with it. Hearing what Hashirama said, the white bear is no weaker than him. How many are there? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 124. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The figure constantly dodges the flames falling from the sky, while swinging a knife to cut off the thunder and lightning. It seems a bit embarrassed for a while. However, neither Kizaru nor Kaido mean to underestimate Mufeng. Kaido, who has fought with Mufeng, knows very well that Mu Feng still has many methods that he has not used, such as the black flames and his body inexplicably turned into nothingness. And Kizaru has also seen Mu Feng and the red dog fight with his own eyes. Can only be described as weird. However, Charlotte Linlin didn't know this, and sneered. The strongest admiral. Bai Shang Mu Feng. Is this the only level? Oh, it seems to be underestimated. Mu Feng said helplessly. After avoiding a falling thunder, Mu Feng retracted the mammoth blade. Another slender dachi appeared in his hand. It was Senbon Sakura in a shallow hit state. Mu Feng's movements were naturally seen by several people. Although they are very curious about how this knife appeared, what is even more curious is what Mu Feng is going to do. The mammoth blade is comparable to the top of the Supreme Knife 12 skills. What is the use of the famous knife, even if it is replaced by another one? Although the famous sword is important, it is a swordsman at the level of Mu Feng. More important is the understanding of kendo and the realm of oneself. Yeah, what is Mu Feng doing? Kizaru squinted slightly, muttering in his mouth. At this time, Mu Feng suddenly changed a knife. There must be a reason. Suddenly, Kizaru's eyes lit up, but Kizaru thought of the wound on Golden Lion's corpse. Huh, changed a knife. Do you think you can defeat me? Don't be delusional. Appear, my child. Huge homets. Charlotte Linlin shouted suddenly. With that, Charlotte Linlin's hands were thrust into the ground under her feet. The soul energy has to be poured in as if you don't need money. The earth is shaking. It seems that something is about to break out of the ground. Advertisement. The black energy overflowed from the ground and condensed into a huge black monster. Soul Incarnation Homets. An avatar created by Charlotte Linlin using soul energy. There is no entity, but it has the same consciousness as Charlotte Linlin and the ability of soul and soul fruit to extract life. It is equivalent to a weakened version of Charlotte Linlin, and because there is no entity, it is not afraid of any physical attacks. Homets, go and devour his soul for me. Charlotte Linlin said grimly. Charlotte Linlin's voice fell, and countless hormets pounced on Mu Feng. There were only 3 hollow faces that looked more and more terrifying, which made the soul tremble. Your slash is not effective against homets. If you have other abilities, please take it out quickly. Otherwise I will kill you, marine polar bear. Charlotte Linlin looked coldly and couldn't help dodge homets' attack. Mu Feng said. Since Big Mom said so, the warm-up is over. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Mu Feng said with a smile, and then used Conqueror's Haki to disperse the several homets that had attacked him, and suddenly erected the sword in his hand. Warm up. Over. Seeing Mu Feng's movements, Charlotte Linlin frowned, revealing doubts. As for Kizaru and Kaido, who were fighting fiercely on the side, their movements were slightly slower, their attention was focused on Mu Feng, and they were also very curious. Charlotte Linlin's observation Haki is at its best, capturing Mu Feng's movements. Suddenly, she suddenly palpitated, because from the long knife in Mu Feng's hand, a very peculiar energy was emitted, which seemed very directed towards herself. Advertisement. Spread it. Senbon Sakura. An indifferent tone, a voice without any emotion, spit out from Mu Feng's mouth. With the sound of this falling, the long knife in Mu Feng's hand, the blade part suddenly turned into a sky full of sakura flowers falling, very luxurious and beautiful. Huh. Charlotte Linlin showed a trace of alertness on her face. Because she felt a bit of murder. This kind of ability, she has never seen it before, it is the attribute of this knife. Still an unknown devil fruit ability. Or maybe, that knife swallowed devil fruit. Homets. Charlotte Linlin growled suddenly. 0 seeking flowers 0. Charlotte Linlin's voice fell, and suddenly a Hormes pounced on Mu Feng. But Mu Feng's heart moved, and the sky full of sakura flowers poured out towards homets. Seeing Mu Feng's actions, Charlotte Linlin showed a mocking smile on her face. Stupid, hormets of soul energy, but immunity. But the words were only halfway through, and they stopped abruptly. Because the sky full of sakura penetrated homets in an instant. And homets, it was like a piece of rags being directly torn apart, turned into a black mist in the sky, and then dissipated. How is it possible? Advertisement. Charlotte Linlin was stunned. Even if armament Haki could touch homets' entity, it would definitely not cause such damage. 0. What's more, Charlotte Linlin can see clearly that in the attack just now, Mu Feng did not use the slightest armament Haki. This can be easily distinguished. Yeah, brother Mu Feng, that's amazing. Kizaru cried out strangely. In fact, Kizaru. No. It should be known to the marine executives. Mu Feng has a large-scale and extremely small attack method. This is learned from the analysis of Golden Lion's corpse, but no one is ignorant. Ask Mu Feng. It's just that Kizaru didn't expect it to be so weird. The blade turns into an infinitely small sharp blade. If you cover it with armament hockey, just think about it, Kizaru feels scalp tingling. Damn it. What is this ability? Charlotte Linlin exclaimed. Charlotte Linlin's soul fruit is indeed incomprehensible in Pirate World, but encountering Zanpakuto is like a mouse encountering a cat. Zanpakuto was originally the weapon of the soul state Shinigami. Dealing with Homits, which is composed of soul energy, is simply harvesting. After shredding one Homits, the sky full of Sakura flowers did not stop, and then poured to another Homits. In front of Senbon Sakura, Homits had no ability to resist at all, just a few breaths, dozens of them. Homits was slaughtered by Mu Feng. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 125. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Damn. I'm going to kill you. Seeing Homits was completely wiped out by Mu Feng, Charlotte Linlin instantly fell into endless anger. With the falling lightning and flames, Charlotte Linlin seemed to emerge from the abyss. Warcraft. Unforgivable. Charlotte Linlin shouted angrily. The sky's thunder suddenly exploded, and countless thunder and lightning fell from the sky, trying to destroy Senbon Sakura. However, Senbon Sakura is essentially a kind of spiritual weapon. It's not metal, so it doesn't conduct electricity. The thunder in the sky didn't affect it at all, so Charlotte Linlin became even more angry. You can feel it too. Mu Feng's face was cold, and he raised his hand to face Charlotte Linlin, 657. Funeral. Advertisement. With the fall of Mu Feng's voice. The sky full of Sakura flowers is like a horizontal waterfall, pouring towards Charlotte Linlin. Give me to die. Facing the Sakura waterfall formed by Senbon Sakura, Charlotte Linlin rushed over without any intention of dodge. Ding ding dong dong dong. Senbon Sakura collided with Charlotte Linlin's body and was all bounced away. Charlotte Linlin's ability to cross the Grand Line and become the pirate of the New World is definitely not only the ability of the fruit of the soul. No 4 emperors can become 4 emperors by relying solely on fruit ability. For Charlotte Linlin, the biggest reliance is the gifted body, the invulnerable skin, and the power that is more terrifying than the giants. If you only talk about defense, even the Diamond Joes of the Whitebeard Pirates. It's definitely not as good as hers. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. White Bear. It seems that you are at this level. Gia Gia. Give you a chance to become my son-in-law and join the Big Mom Pirate group. I will spare your life. Your daughters. They are as disgusting as you. Don't disgust me. I suddenly remembered one thing. Charlotte Linlin, you know that caramel was on your birthday 63 years ago. Why did it disappear? Mu Feng laughed. Karumal. You know the news about mother. Tell me. Advertisement. Hearing Karumal's words, Charlotte Linlin couldn't calm down in an instant, watched Mu Feng growl, and hated to open Mu Feng's mouth to pull out the answer. Oh. Of course it's okay to tell you. Actually, don't you already know the answer? There will only be one soul fruit capable person in the world, that is, you. In other words, the previous soul fruits the capable person Karumal, is dead. Think about it. When did you gain the ability of the soul fruit? It was on your 5th birthday. Caramel and your former partners, both you ate it if you were suffering from thinking. Mu Feng told Charlotte Linlin the cruel facts without any cover. In fact, how could Charlotte Linlin not know the truth? It's just that she doesn't want to think about it, and the Longbread who knows all the truth, that is, the chief chef of the Big Mom Pirate group and Charlotte Linlin's first husband, has been deceiving her, saying that Karumal will he came back, so that Charlotte Linlin kept holding on to hope. You nonsense. Caramel will definitely be back. Charlotte Linlin yelled. Really? Actually, there are more cruel things. Caramel is not as good as you think. Her true identity is actually a human trafficker. 63 years ago, when you were about to wait for your 5th birthday, you sold to Marine or world government. Huh. Think about it this way, if Karumal sold you to Marine. Maybe we are still colleagues now. Well, Charlotte Linlin Admiral, it sounds pretty good. Mu Feng did not converge and continued to stimulate Charlotte Linlin. Kurumal is the light of the world. It is absolutely impossible to be a trafficker. White Bear. Do you dare to insult Mother? I want you to die than to live. If it is said that Charlotte Linlin was just an uncontrollable anger when she heard the first part of what Mu Feng said, then when she heard the second half. Charlotte Linlin has become black and caramel is the most important thing in her life. People are the sun shining on her. She does not allow anyone to insult her. Anyone who dares to insult her must die. Charlotte Linlin's face became extremely gloomy. The terrifying conqueror's haki, spreading outward in piles 0. Deep grooves appeared on the ground, and cracks appeared in the air, just like Whitebeard used shock fruit. It can be seen how terrifying Charlotte Linlin's conqueror's haki is. It is definitely not weaker than Whitebeard. With a cold and terrifying look on Charlotte Linlin's face, she walked towards Mu Feng, and the unscrupulous conqueror's haki stirred the celestial phenomenon. Advertisement. Below Charlotte Linlin, like a king, watching everything. This is Conqueror's haki, the king's posture. Similarly, Mu Feng also released his own Conqueror's haki. Although it is inferior to Charlotte Linlin, it still has no problem to offset Charlotte Linlin's Conqueror's haki. Mu Feng didn't step back or panic at all, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Brother Mu Feng didn't have any panic. I'm really curious, how would he deal with the furious Charlotte 1.2 Te Linlin? I don't know since when the battle between Kaido and Kizaru has stopped, and his eyes are all looking to the battlefield not far away. Well, I didn't want to use this trick, but it seems that if I don't use it, I can't do anything with you. Mu Feng said lightly, everything in his body seemed to be still. Mu Feng lightly held the hilt in his hand, rotated the body of the sword he had erected so that the tip of the sword was pointed at the ground, then suddenly let go and let it fall to the ground. Bankai. Mu Feng's voice seemed to sound from his soul. Whether it's Kizaru, Kaido, or Charlotte Linlin, they all feel inexplicably trembling in their hearts, and have a vaguely bad premonition. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 126. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. I saw Senbon Sakura loosened by Mu Feng. Setsuna, whose sword tip fell on the ground. The ground suddenly rippled like water waves. Senbon Sakura was inserted directly into the ground so strangely, and disappeared silently. Immediately afterwards, the ground under Mu Feng's feet seemed to become a pond. With Mu Feng as the center, weird ripples rippling outward in circles. Then from behind Mu Feng, a sharp sword suddenly appeared. Higher and higher. Even more than Mu Feng's height. The most important thing is that there are not only one sword blades that emerge suddenly from the ground, but countless ones. The entire space seems to be gloomy, and the sword blades continue to rise, not knowing behind Mu Feng. How far is it? Bankai Senbon Sakura. Jing Yan. As Mu Feng's voice fell, the endless blades behind him all disintegrated in an instant, and suddenly all turned into sakura flowers flying all over the sky, flying with the wind. It doesn't seem to be much different from just now. But in terms of quantity, it is more than 100 times huge, even 1,000 times more than 10. If it was just a small stream and pond, then Bankai has become a vast expanse. If Mu Feng wants to, let the ocean of sakura flowers fall straight down from the sky. You can destroy the entire Chambordian Islands without saying it once. Several times down, destroying the entire Chambordian Islands is absolutely easy, of course, provided that no one resists. Senbon Sakura Kajiyoshi. Advertisement. Hundreds of millions of blades, overwhelmingly wrapped up to Charlotte Linlin. At the same time, the pale pink blade also became jet black, but it was covered with a layer of armament haki by Mu Feng. The black blades all over the sky make people shudder. It was like a blade storm. Senbon Sakura Kajiyoshi stirred the sky, and suddenly there was a howling strong wind that tore apart the thunderclouds in the sky. Countless blades cut Charlotte Linlin in all directions without dead angles, enclosing Charlotte Linlin in a pitch-black sphere. Although 90% of the blades are attacking Charlotte Linlin, there is still a part of the blade that is not controlled by Mu Feng, but is also covered by armament haki, flying all over the sky, so that Kizaru and Kaido have to retreat a lot. Kizaru is the capable person of Logia Devil Fruit, so he is naturally afraid of coming so suddenly. Although Kaido is not afraid, he will not stand there stupidly and get a knife. Yeah, it's really scary. I didn't expect that Mu Feng would be so powerful. It seems that you must not make Mu Feng angry anymore. Kizaru muttered to himself. This time Kizaru was not talking strange things, he was really persuaded. Under such a dense blade, even if he wanted to escape, he would never have a chance. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. White Bear. There are so many methods. Kaido murmured. Under Senbon Kajiyoshi's cutting, countless blood burst out. It can be seen that Rao is Charlotte Linlin's steel skin, and he can't withstand such a terrifying offensive. Give me. Get out of the way. Suddenly in Senbon Kajiyoshi, there was an angry outcry. Advertisement. Conqueror's hockey swept across the sky. Then Senbon Kajiyoshi wrapped Charlotte Linlin suddenly burst open, and Sakura wrapped in armament hockey flew all over the sky. Charlotte Linlin's blood is particularly terrifying. Damn bastard. Never. No one can hurt my old lady like this, I want to eat you. Charlotte Linlin growled. As Charlotte Linlin roared down. Suddenly, the dark soul energy filled her body, and the look on her face became savage. It seemed to be very painful. Charlotte Linlin forcibly launched an attack at the cost of her own injury. The whole person is like a terrifying behemoth, attacking Mu Feng. Jonjing Senbon Kajiyoshi. The torrential sakura flower suddenly retracted and appeared around Mu Feng, quickly condensing into a blade of sword before it disintegrated, hanging in the sky. When Mu Feng thought, countless swordsmen shot at Charlotte Linlin. What surprised Mu Feng was that when Zhongfeng touched Charlotte Linlin's body, her soul energy suddenly burned violently, and she actually resisted Zhongfeng's attack. However, the look on his face became more and more ferocious, obviously paying a lot of price. In a flash, Charlotte Linlin has already invaded Mu Feng. Mu Feng was already unable to hide, but he didn't want to dodge either. Although she switched her body directly into the Kamui space, no matter how awesome Charlotte Linlin was, she definitely couldn't help Mu Feng. But in the same way, Mu Feng can't help Charlotte Linlin. Besides, he is called a white bear, so he should have a terrifying power like a bear. Diamond power. Immobile. Advertisement. Although it is wood style, Mu Feng is not afraid of being seen through. Because this is just an application of wood style chakra in the body, the external performance is just the horror of incomparable power. It is impossible for the 743 people who are not proficient in wood style to be aware of it. In Pirate World, wood style is Mu Feng's exclusive. Fist and fist. Set off a terrifying wave, and lift the surrounding ground. The flying sand and rocks all over the sky are not scary. Mu Feng stepped back more than 10 steps to stabilize his figure, but Charlotte Linlin was directly blown out by Mu Feng. Shoot Charlotte Linlin out. The power of Mu Feng's little brother is too terrifying. Even if Martial Sengoku becomes a big Buddha, he may not be able to do it. It's really abnormal. Kizaru murmured. A terrifying power. No worse than me. Kaido solemnly said. After regaining his footing, Charlotte Linlin, the boss with wide-eyed eyes, was very clear when he fisted just now. Mu Feng's soul breath. Actually, it is exactly the same as Senju Hashirama. Is there a soul breath in the world? Two people who are exactly the same. Do not. This is absolutely impossible. Even the twins have completely different soul breaths. In other words, in fact, Mu Feng of Marine's White Bear and Senju Hashirama of Hunter's Guild are the same person. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 127. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. In this sea, the four emperors definitely stand at the top of the existence, and the four emperors level powerhouses are even trembling when Marine faces them. There was such a disturbance in the Chambord Islands, and the news was transmitted to the whole world in the first time. In a short moment, it has spread all over the sea, and the world is in an uproar. As the four emperors, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin's movements were all noticed by the leaders of the major forces, especially the two combined to conquer the Hunter Guild. Many people are wondering what a big battle between the two forces will break out. Was the Hunters Guild destroyed by Charlotte Linlin and Kaido, or the two lost to the Hunters Guild and retreated in embarrassment? All are waiting for the outbreak of the war. But when they heard the news, everyone looked dumbfounded. Charlotte Linlin and Kaido did not fight with the Hunters Guild. Instead, they clashed with Marine, and battle broke out. What the hell is this TM? Naval Headquarters, after receiving the news from the Marine branch of Chambord, instantly became a mess. Sengoku, who was drinking water, even squirted out. What happened to the Chambord Islands? What are the two guys Kizaru and Mu Feng doing? Haven't they already explained that they only intervened to help when they had to do it? It's okay now, how come they too and Kaido and Charlotte Linlin fought? What about Senju Hashirama? And what about the old guy Rayleigh? Sengoku roared directly. Advertisement. According to the subpoena, no one exists except Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, and the White Bear Admiral and Kizaru Admiral, the adjutant said. What? Sengoku was taken aback for a moment, then fell into a rage. Senju Hashirama, this bastard. Diaresis. In this situation, if Sengoku no longer sees that Marine has been used as a gunman by the Hunters Guild, then his martial Marine will no longer have to be. But at this time, he didn't care about anything. He picked up the phone worm and notified Garp, who hadn't slipped away from naval headquarters, and rushed to the Chambord Islands. Then I wanted to notify Aokiji, but found that there was no way to notify, because according to the request of Celestial Dragons, Aokiji was stationed at Mary Geoise, and it was impossible to extract it. After gritting his teeth, Sengoku stood up and said loudly, "Prepare the battleship, and in 5 minutes, go to the Chambord Islands." Sengoku absolutely cannot accept that there is a problem with the Chambord Islands, because the Chambord is next to Marin Vander and Mary Geoise. Sengoku's adjutant was taken aback. Sengoku personally played, but something that has never happened since he became a marshal. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Yes, marshal. But he also reacted quickly. Seeing Charlotte Linlin's shocked look, Mu Feng's heart trembled. It seems that she has discovered her identity. In any case, she must not let Charlotte Linlin out of the Chambord Islands alive. The killing intent in his eyes suddenly appeared, without a trace of cover. With a thought in his heart, hanging beside Mu Feng, the countless swords on the sky, the sword tips all point to Charlotte Linlin. Advertisement. Every blade is wrapped by armament hockey, and the cold light flickers. The murderous intent is sudden, and each one is not inferior to the 21st knife. These blades are arranged in a circle, layer by layer. Charlotte Linlin is at the center of the point of the sword. What a spectacular power! Kizaru exclaimed. Kaido's gaze also condensed abruptly. If he could not care about Mu Feng's attack just now, then at this moment, he can't care about it. Although his resilience is very abnormal, he can be called an immortal existence, but it is not after all. Really immortal. If the upper limit of the attack exceeds his tolerance limit, he will still die. However, Kaido has never encountered such an attack. However, facing this endless sword edge, Kaido's heart was chilled. He didn't have the confidence to resist such an attack. Even if he didn't die, he would be seriously injured in the true sense. Uranus 1 bite 1000 blade flower. Mu Feng stared at Charlotte Linlin and said coldly. Between Setsuna, the sky full of swords moved, one after another, one circle after another, one layer after another, and blasted towards Charlotte Linlin. The sword shadow has already covered the entire sky of the Chambordian Islands. Charlotte Linlin has changed a lot. Advertisement. There was even more fear in his heart. Since the founding of the pirate group, Charlotte Linlin has never faced such a desperate situation. Even back then, when he was hunted down by the steel skeleton of Marine Admiral at the time, or when he was playing against Whitebeard. Charlotte Linlin roared hoarsely. As the four emperors, conquerors Haki, who was crowned the entire sea, was released without any reservation, stirring up the celestial phenomena of the entire Chambord archipelago. Thunder and lightning fell crazily, and the fire in the sky fell round and round, not just Shampoo Island of GR1. The entire area of Islands 1 to 10 is within the scope of the battle. Charlotte Linlin's conqueror's Haki is indeed very strong and terrifying, directly smashing a circle of swords close to her body into powder. But no matter what, Charlotte Linlin's explosion is short-lived after all. But this sky full of swordsmen's blades seems to be endless, one after another, the waves of the sword gradually approach Charlotte Linlin, and then pierce her skin, chop off her flesh and blood, and grind her bones until the breath gradually disappeared. 1000 blade flower kill. Finally, with a loud shout from Mu Feng. The swords all over the sky are several times more fierce, swallowing Charlotte Linlin in the middle. Only a scream came out. Mu Feng took away the sky full of blades, and the hilt in his hand became a shallow strike again. Looking at the location in the center of the battlefield, there is no such thing as Charlotte Linlin. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 128. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Congratulations to host. Kill 4 Emperors, Charlotte Linlin. Get rewards. 3 Super Experience Scrolls, 317 Exclusive Armament Hockey Experience Scrolls, 245 Exclusive Experience Scrolls for Observation Hockey, Conquerors Hockey. There are 283 Exclusive Experience Scrolls. Because Charlotte Linlin belongs to a special life form, the host is rewarded. Ability Shinigami, Conquerors Hockey Extended Skills Shatter. The voice of the system came out of my mind. Hearing this voice, Mu Feng knew. The 4 emperors who dominate the sea, Big Mom Charlotte Linlin. Just fell. Didn't care too much about Charlotte Linlin, who was dead, and Mu Feng wouldn't care about the dead. Mu Feng is concerned about the rewards of the system. Shinigami LV0, Proficiency. 0.0%. On his attribute panel, there is an extra ability, but because the level and proficiency are 0, I can't see what is famous. But Mu Feng was not ready to upgrade immediately. 187 Kaido and Kizaru were still watching. Mu Feng is still going to keep this Shinigami transformation as his own. At the critical moment, he may still be yin and yin people, and he definitely cannot just show it so grandiosely. Advertisement. As for the other ability, you can already master it when you move your mind. As 4 emperors, Charlotte Linlin's Conquerors Hockey has definitely broken the boundaries. The ability to smash is obtained by his Conquerors Hockey after breaking the boundaries. Smash. Use Conquerors Hockey all over the body to turn any object close to the body into powder. But it can't maintain this effect for a long time. Familiar with this skill, Mu Feng also understands why the sword blade created by Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi just now turned into powder when it approached Charlotte Linlin's body. In the plot, why the KX rocket launcher that Luffy and his team assassinated her turned into powder when it was close to Charlotte Linlin's body. This is a steel balloon-like body, coupled with such a terrifying Conqueror's Hockey characteristics. Charlotte Linlin does not become 4 emperors, it really makes no sense. BACB. Goo. Kizaru swallowed hard, with a dull face, and subconsciously murmured, Charlotte Linlin, dead. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The Big Sea Pirates of the 4 Emperors class, each one is the existence of the king over the sea. The entire sea is only 4. Everyone is an existence that makes Marine extremely troublesome. It also made Marine helpless. But now and today, such a big pirate was beheaded by Mu Feng alone. It was terrifying. How is it possible? Charlotte Linlin was actually killed. Kaido was shocked. Advertisement. Also 4 emperors, Kaido knows Charlotte Linlin's strength very well. Among the 4 emperors, Whitebeard is undoubtedly the strongest, Red Hair is the weakest, and Charlotte Linlin's strength is equal to his own, and no one can do anything about it. Mu Feng can kill Charlotte Linlin, doesn't it mean that he is stronger than himself? Thinking of this, Kaido's face is a little ugly. And when he saw Mu Feng set his eyes on himself, Kaido's face became even more ugly, and he said in a deep voice, White Bear, I don't mean to be an enemy of your marine, I. Obviously, Kaido was a little confused. But Kaido's words are not finished yet. Since it doesn't mean this, then don't hurry up. Mu Feng interrupted directly. You. Kaido fell into a rage instantly. In this sea, no one has dared to speak to him like this. Me. What's wrong with me? Killed Charlotte Linlin, I don't mind killing another 4 emperors. Although you are a little bit harder than Charlotte Linlin. But how do you know if you don't try? The tip of Mu Feng's sword pointed to the ground. Kaido's pupils shrank suddenly. Just now Mu Feng let go of his hand, the long knife sank into the ground, and then an infinite blade appeared, and then he killed Charlotte Linlin. Is it possible that now he still has the power to perform the moves just now? Kaido didn't dare to bet, because Mu Feng's last move just now was Senbon Sakura's Bankai. He felt that he couldn't take it down either. Although he wouldn't be killed, he would definitely cause serious injuries in the actual sense. The most important thing is that, in Kaido's view, it makes no sense to fight against Marine. Huh. White Bear, I remembered this time. Kaido said viciously. Advertisement. With a ruthless word, Kaido jumped directly into the sea and left. This is definitely the most frustrated time in Kaido's life. No, it should be said once in 2. As for the other time, it was the one played by Senju Hashirama in the Red-Haired Sea. If we say, before today Kaido hated Senju Hashirama of the Hunter Guild the most. So, after today, his hatred of Mufeng will never be inferior to Senju Hashirama. I really don't know. If Kaido were to know that Senju Hashirama and Mufeng are actually the same person, would they be furious and lose their minds, and then turn to find Mufeng desperately? Brother Mufeng, I didn't expect you to kill Charlotte Linlin. Even now Kizaru is still a little unbelievable. Fortunately, if Charlotte Linlin can carry it for a few more minutes, I guess I can't kill her. Mufeng shrugged and said. One bite a thousand-edged flower is the secret of Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi. Although it looks like the sword's edge is endless, after all, Mufeng's physical strength is limited, and it is impossible to truly condense the sword's edge infinitely. When Mufeng is exhausted, the sword's edge will all dissipate. If Charlotte Linlin can continue, it may really survive for a few minutes. However, there are not so many ifs in the world. Besides, even if Charlotte Linlin really took a bite of the thousand-blade flower, Mufeng would have another way to kill her. Anyway, Charlotte Linlin is definitely going to die. Ha ha. Kizaru smiled silently. If only Lucky could kill Charlotte Linlin, then the 4 emperors would have died a long time ago, so why didn't I make me lucky a few times? Kizaru murmured inwardly. At this moment, 2 warships approached from the distant horizon. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 129. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The owners of the 2 battleships are Sengoku and Garp. Across the sea, both of them can see lightning and thunder and fire falling in the sky of the shampoo area. Damn it. Charlotte Linlin is unscrupulous in the shampoo. Let's rush over first, Garp. Sengoku yelled. After all, Moonwalk was lifted under his feet and galloped directly out of the battleship. And Garp on another battleship naturally followed closely behind. Both of them are masters of Marine 6 styles. Although the speed of Moonwalk may not be as fast as the chasing light after Mufeng shaved and Moonwalk merged, it is definitely several times faster than the speed of the battleship. Someone is here, the old man and Marshal Sengoku, Mufeng said suddenly. Huh. Kizaru raised his brows, with doubts on his face. As Admiral, Kizaru's observation haki is definitely the top existence. But in his perception, no one came out, perhaps because his observation haki didn't have enough range of perception. But even within the range of perception and at such a distance, it is impossible to accurately identify a person's identity. Mufeng smiled, did not speak, but looked towards the sea. His observation haki really can't perceive such a terrifying range. Pirate world, if you talk about observation haki's perceptual range, it is definitely the most perceptible range of observation haki. Thunder Fruit's increase in observation haki is simply abnormal. Even so, the sights and sounds of Ainulu only covered the entire Sky Island. Although the Sky Island is very large, it is only a radius of 1 to 20 kilometers. This is also the limit of Ainulu's experience and beauty. Under normal circumstances, the perception limit of observation haki is only a few kilometers. Mufeng is no exception. The main reason why he is so sure is because his ability to predict the future made him see Sengoku and Garp after 20 seconds. Advertisement. Sure enough, 20 seconds later, 2 figures dressed in the cloak of justice walked over the sea. From the silhouette of their bodies, one can tell that they are Sengoku and Garp. It's really Marshal Sengoku and Old Man Garp. Brother Mufeng, what a great observation haki. Kizaru's voice was full of amazement. You praised, Senior Porosalino. Mufeng smiled. While the 2 were talking, Sengoku and Garp had already appeared in front of them. Sengoku breathed a sigh of relief seeing that the 2 of them were in peace. But then he became confused and asked, Kaido and Charlotte Linlin, where are those 2 guys? Didn't it mean that the battle in the Chambord Islands was very fierce? Why didn't I see it? Kaido just ran away. Mufeng said lightly. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Run. Nani. Sengoku was taken aback. Immediately noticed that Mufeng's answer seemed to have some problems. Without mentioning Charlotte Linlin, he continued to ask, where is Charlotte Linlin? Did you run away? Mufeng did not speak, but looked at Kizaru who was aside. Mufeng believes that what he says from the crowd will be more convincing. Garp and Sengoku also looked at Kizaru. Kizaru smiled wryly, and then said, That Charlotte Linlin was just killed by Mu Feng's brother. Well, Charlotte Linlin was killed. Sengoku nodded first. Then suddenly he was stunned, his face was full of consternation. The chin was about to fall to the ground, and the whole person seemed to have seen a ghost. What did I hear just now? Advertisement. The atmosphere solidified in an instant, for a long while. Sengoku stammered and said, Porosalino, what did you say? Charlotte Linlin was killed by Mu Feng. He said, looking at Mu Feng. If there is no other Charlotte Linlin. Mu Feng shrugged. Sengoku's brain is blank, and so is Garp. Charlotte Linlin. Dead. 4 emperors. Body falls. And he died in the hands of Marine. Thinking of this, Sengoku suddenly became excited, and said with joy, okay. Good job this time, Kid Mu Feng, ha 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 ha. 4 emperors were killed by Marine, which can definitely set off an uproar on the sea. Find flowers. Marine's reputation will definitely be boosted. The reputation of the pirates will definitely fall sharply. Taking this opportunity, if Marine operates well, suppress the arrogance of the pirates, break the balance between Marine and 4 emperors, plus the 7 warlords of the sea who have been subdued by Mu Feng, maybe within a few years, it will be able to end the era of the great pirate. Ah ha ha. Boy, good job. Garp is also very excited. Mu Feng's growth has greatly exceeded his expectations. Well, let's go back to naval headquarters for the next thing. Sengoku said with a smile. Although Charlotte Linlin is dead, there are still many things to deal with. Advertisement. What a terrific white bear. Can actually kill Charlotte Linlin. With such a terrifying strength, no wonder Hashirama didn't want to provoke him. After Mu Feng, Sengoku, a group of 4 returned to the voyage. Rayleigh appeared on the battlefield just now. Looking at the surroundings, his face was full of horror, and he couldn't recover for a long time. At this time, let alone island number 1, the entire area of islands number 1 to 10, all the buildings or the Yulchman mangroves, were all affected and destroyed by the battle just now. Especially where Charlotte Linlin stood at the end, it was directly shot out by a big hole with a radius of nearly 1 kilometer in diameter by the 1,000-blade flower. New World, the Kingdom of Drake Rosa. The deepest room in the palace. Dover, news from the Chambord Islands. Torapal handed a piece of information to Doflamingo, who was looking bad. Fufurfuru. Has the Hunters Guild been wiped out? Doflamingo didn't care very much, but received the information anyway. After just one glance, his complexion suddenly changed, and his pupils shrank suddenly, his face was unbelievable. Looked at Torapal and said, this is, really. Torapal said solemnly. He knows how shocking this information is. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 130. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Doflamingo took a deep breath, his dignity in his eyes reached the extreme, and he killed Charlotte Linlin with his own power, even if it is known as the world's strongest whitebeard. Whether this can be done is still unknown. But 80% is impossible, but Mu Feng did it. Of course, this is not to say that Mu Feng is necessarily better than Whitebeard. However, this definitely shows that Mu Feng will definitely not be weaker than Whitebeard. Damn, I didn't expect this fellow Bai Shang to be so strong. Doflamingo's face was very gloomy, although he was exposed and defeated by Mu Feng in naval headquarters 6 months ago, he had to bow his head to Mu Feng. However, he, who has the capital of Conqueror's Hockey, will not really surrender. With Kaido alone, there is no 193 method to deal with the white bear. It seems that the process of man-made devil fruit must be speeded up. Humph. In the face of thousands of demon fruit power, the white bear. Strong, it is absolutely impossible for the enemy to pass. Doflamingo murmured with a strange light in his eyes. Shanks, Charlotte Linlin was killed. In the Chambord Islands, the white bear did it. Beckman looked at the red hair aside and said with a demented face. Oh, Charlotte Linlin. What? Charlotte Linlin was killed by a white bear. How could this be possible? The red hair was also embarrassed. I have confirmed with Uncle Rayleigh, the news is true. Beckman said. Advertisement. Now, the sea is going to be chaotic again. I'm afraid. Even in New World, the pirate's life will become difficult. Shanks said with a headache. Comma 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 comma. Father. Daddy, something big happened. Kahahaha. What's the matter? Marco. Whitebeard, who was sitting on the deck of the Moby Dick, asked with a big laugh. As long as it wasn't his own child, Whitebeard wouldn't care too much. Charlotte Linlin was killed by Marine's White Bear in Chambord. Marco passed the information in his hand to Whitebeard. What? The expression on Whitebeard's face was slightly startled. After receiving the information from Marco, he looked at it, and after a long while, he said with a serious face, Marine White Bear. I'm afraid, it's not weaker than the two old guys Sengoku and Garp. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Not weaker than Sengoku and Garp. Marco looked dazed. Then he said with horror on his face, well, isn't this White Bear the strongest Marine? He is only 17 years old. It was shocking. The strongest Marine. Hoo-ha-ha-ha-ha. Killing Charlotte Linlin, even if I am now, it is difficult for me to do this. I am afraid the strength of this kid has surpassed me. Garp, this old bastard, is really looking for a good seedling. Whitebeard didn't care at all and laughed. With his current status, with his mind, although he knows that the appearance of Mu Feng in Marine will definitely break the balance of the sea for a long time, but he will not care about it. He is old and he can clearly feeling that his strength is declining rapidly, and the hidden wounds that he didn't care about in his prime of life are also in pain. Advertisement. Maybe after some time, they can only rely on drugs to maintain their strength. To put it bluntly, Whitebeard didn't even know how long he could live. And most importantly, he has his own pride. He is Whitebeard. Papa, Marco murmured. Looking at Whitebeard, Marco looked very complicated. As the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates Division, he is Whitebeard's most important right-hand man. He naturally knows the physical condition of Whitebeard best. If the old man could be 20 years younger, no, even if he was only 10 years younger. It's not like it is now, showing the breath of twilight. It's true, maybe others can't see it, but Marco can feel that although his father is still watching everything, but he is old after all. Not only Marco, after this battle, Mu Feng, the White Bear, is the name of the strongest Marine. The heads of underground forces in the New World are even more moved by the wind. Like the lone shark, Dufield, the big hand funeral director, Dorag Pyrecrow, the Queen of Happy Street, Stussy. These were once attached to the heads of Charlotte Linlin. They are all shrinking their own power, without backing, they are afraid of being annexed. The heads of the underground forces under the other four emperors are all sharpening their swords. Advertisement. Prepare to bite a piece of meat fiercely in the Big Mom Sea area. The whole New World became restless, and I don't know what kind of storm was brewing. However, a statement from Marine suppressed all the storms in an instant. Marine Admiral White Bear, who will go to New World to suppress the Big Mom Sea soon. Remnants of the thieves. In an instant, no underground force dared to make any moves. I was afraid that I would hit the muzzle and be slaughtered by Mu Feng. Now Mu Feng's wicked name is louder than four emperors. Comma 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 comma. Mu Feng, are you going to New World now? The Hulk matter. Sengoku frowned and said in the Marine Marshal's office. With Mu Feng's current strength, even if Sengoku was a marshal, he would not use the tone of command to order things. Marshal, don't worry, there are still 17 or 18 days before the time agreed with the Hunter Guild. So much time as 2.2, enough for me to smooth the Big Mom pirate group. Mu Feng self-confident. The words are filled with almost arrogant self-confidence. However, Sengoku didn't have the slightest doubt, because Mu Feng was strong enough. Then you seize the time. Sengoku said. Mu Feng nodded, and then said, yes, Marshal. After cleaning up the remnants of the Big Mom pirates, I will first go to Dressrosa to deal with some things, and then I will not return to the headquarters. Go straight to the Chambord Islands. Mu Feng has not forgotten the special plants he obtained from Golden Lion. Although 10 plants are worth a little coupon, if they can be planted in a large area, the benefits are also very considerable. Mu Feng's goal for this trip is the Dongtata clan. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 131. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The Dongtata tribe is a small human tribe, located in the huge primitive deep forest underground kingdom on Grimbat Island adjacent to Dreyrosa. It is said that there is no plant in the world that their tribe cannot cultivate, and the Don Quixote family has 900 years. I have already had grievances before. There is absolutely no problem in letting them cultivate a special plant like IQ. With the tactics of carrot and stick, Mu Feng didn't believe that the Dongtata clan would not submit. Well, just pay attention to yourself. Sengoku nodded. Sengoku did not ask much about what Mu Feng was going to do. Marine and pirates are not at the same time. For Marines and low and middle level generals, they are not allowed to have any contact with pirates except for combat. The iron rule of touch. But for Marines above the Admiral level, this is dispensable, because the powerhouses at this level already have their own thoughts and it is difficult to be shaken by others. As long as they don't defect to Marine, other do not be too constrained. 10. For example, Kizaru often releases water during battles, and nothing happens. What's more, Mu Feng reported with him. Then Marshal Sengoku, I will go to prepare now, and set sail in the afternoon. Finally, Mu Feng said to Sengoku and left the marshal's office. After the battle to kill Charlotte Linlin in the Chambord Islands, Mu Feng's reputation in Marine has reached a level that Sengoku can't even match. List Mu Feng's past achievements. Beheading the Drought Jack, beheading the Golden Lion Shiki, conquering 7 warlords of the sea, beating the original Admiral Red Dog, beating the 4 emperors, Beast, Kaido, plus this time kill Big Mom Charlotte Linlin. Advertisement. If you think about it carefully, you will be horrified to discover. Since Roger started the era of the great pirates, Marine has been able to come up with a record, all created by Mu Feng. It can be said that Mu Feng has reshaped the image of Marine in the eyes of the public. For Mu Feng's prestige, Sengoku does not have any fearful thoughts of being a powerful master. Not only that, but it is also trying to enhance Mu Feng's prestige. Although it is only Admiral, everything Mu Feng enjoys is at the martial level. For example, the battleship at Mu Feng's feet at this moment is of the same model as Sengoku, with a length of 200 meters and a width of 25 meters. The mobile is 3 laps older than Whitebeard, and there are only 2 ships in the entire Marine. It can be seen how much Sengoku loves Mu Feng. Guy, all seamen on the battleship are not allowed to come within 10 meters of my house, and the offenders will be thrown into the sea directly. Mu Feng looked at Guy and ordered. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Yes, my lord. Guy obeyed. Then he ordered to go down and guard 10 meters away. Mu Feng walked into the door and used the ability of wood style to create a wooden wall that can isolate the breath on the inner wall of the house. Sitting on the couch, take out a super experience scroll. This thing is a divine tool, a scroll of over 500 advanced experiences that is absolutely worth it. Advertisement. Hold your breath and just tear it open. The milky white light enveloped Mu Feng. After a while, it gradually disappeared. During this period, Mu Feng was able to kill Charlotte Linlin's new ability Shinigami, and his proficiency was rapidly improving. LV1, LV2, LV3, LV4, LV5. It's just a super scroll of experience, directly raising the ability of Shinigami to the level of LV5. When the ability is raised to the level of LV1, Mu Feng can feel a very special energy from his body. Breathe out. Unlike hockey in the pirate world, nor is it chakra when I use wood style, this is the energy radiated from the soul. Some are familiar with it, and seem to have the same root as the energy used when I use Senbon Sakura. Senbon Sakura. The energy of the same root. Thinking of this, Mu Feng's eyes suddenly widened, and his breathing became quicker. At the same time, I called the system in my heart. System. Shinigami ability. Is it the power system of the Shinigami world? Yes, host. The system replied. Hearing the exact reply from the system, Mu Feng couldn't help but jump for joy. The power system in the Shinigami world is the strongest among the 3 major migrant workers: Naruto, Pirate, and Shinigami. Kido, Shunpo, Free Hit, Slash. Just thinking about it, Mu Feng couldn't help but get a little excited. Definitely can crush the pirate world. Advertisement. No. Mu Feng was taken aback. Because he suddenly discovered that in addition to a handful of Senbon Sakura, the ghosts in the Shinigami world are completely unaware of the 4 skills. Nima, All the illusions just now shattered in an instant. Chicken ribs. Chicken 433 ribs. In addition to increasing the power of Senbon Sakura, what else can it do? Oh, you can also act as Conqueror's Haki. After all, Reiatsu is a force that directly acts on the soul, and it is the same as Conqueror's Haki. When Mu Feng secretly scolded his mother for selling criticism, a systemic voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Host, please note that Kido in the Shinigami world is a combination of spiritual power running roots and singing mantras. In Shinigami world, the two are indispensable. However, in front of the system, whether the host knows the root of the spiritual power, or knows one of the spells, it is considered to have learned the Kido. Quote. In the first half of the system, Mu Feng had the urge to scold his mother. However, in the end he held back because Mu Feng knew that the system would not make a sound for no reason. Sure enough, the second half of the voice was simply Mu Feng's gospel. Instantly saved Mu Feng's embarrassing situation at the moment. Kido's spiritual power operation root. That kind of thing is a ghost. However, Mu Feng knows a lot about Kido's mantras. Once used as a pure anime house, Mu Feng from the second period, Naruto Ninjutsu Yuki from Naruto World, Shinigami World Kido's mantras. The gourd on the back is overripe. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 132. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The King. The mask of flesh and blood, the Vientiane, the thing that flaps its wings, and is crowned with the name of mankind. Scorching heat and conflict, turning south across the sea, moving forward. The 31st of Hado. Red Cannon. Feng sang in a low voice. It is Hado on the 31st Red Cannon. As Mu Feng began to sing, he could clearly feel the energy in his body that had the same root and the same root as Senbon Sakura, that is, spiritual power, flowing in the body in a mysterious root. Mu Feng between Setsuna understood, this is it is the root of spiritual power. The body instantly became familiar with and remembered the root of the red artillery. At the moment when the voice fell, a group of scarlet flames appeared, burst out suddenly, and blasted straight to the wall on the side. Blast the wall directly into a layer of charred black. Mu Feng is speechless. You must know that the walls in this house are wooden walls made by yourself with wood style. They are full of the power of Yang. Even if magma is poured on it, it is impossible to ignite. The red artillery can cause such damage, absolutely. Use it to deal with the strong of the Major General level, and even pose a threat to the strong of the Lieutenant General level. The most important is, this is only Hado on the 31st. And I know that there are even Hado on the 90th Black Coffin, and Hado on the 91st Senju Jiaoshan Taipao. This level of Hado, it is estimated that there is no problem with the powerhouse of the Four Emperors level. Advertisement. Due to the bombardment of the red artillery, the entire battleship was shaking. Many Marines on the ship thought it was the battleship that was attacked by the Sea King, but Guy quickly calmed the panicked Marine, because he knew very well that the battleship was not affected, and the source of the earthquake was actually the one locked by Mu Feng. Cabin. Vaguely revealing a murky coat of arms, untamed and insane talent, the tide is. Backquote. While singing Black Coffin's chanting mantra, Mu Feng suddenly stopped. Because he found that he could no longer sing, or to be more precise, the spiritual power root running in his body, suddenly stopped, and there was no longer a half-point flow. System. What's the situation? You don't mean that as long as you know how to sing a mantra, you are learning Kido, why can't Black Coffin? Mu Feng asked in his heart. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Host Reiatsu is too low to release high-level Hado like Black Coffin. Please upgrade Reiatsu before attempting to release it. In addition, please note that if host releases Hado of Black Coffin level, the warship will not be able to release it. Withstand the pressure of such a huge Reiatsu, and 97% of the lifeforms on the battleship cannot bear it. The battleship will disintegrate and the lifeforms will die. This is a reminder from the friends of the system. The system sounded. I just try it casually, I didn't want to release it. Mu Feng said. At the same time, I was grateful, but fortunately it was not released. Otherwise, so many Marines will be killed, not to mention that I am in trouble. Sengoku is not easy to explain. You know, the number of Marines standing on the Marshall-class battleship is a total of 1,000 or 200 people. This is definitely not a small number. But since there were no casualties, it was not a problem. Mu Feng just left it behind and thought about Reiatsu's problem. Reiatsu is too low. How to improve Reiatsu? Advertisement. For a Shinigami, Reiatsu is the foundation of its existence. Is it possible to think that the improvement of one's Shinigami ability level is the improvement of Reiatsu? Without any hesitation, Mu Feng once again tore a super experience reel. LV6, LV7, LV8. He has been promoted to 3 levels in a row. I don't know if he can release the Hado of Black Coffin now. Mu Feng can't hold back the itch in his heart. After thinking about it, Mu Feng jumped directly into the Kamui space. If Mu Feng is asked to rank Mangekyo Sharingan's pupil technique, there is no doubt that Kamui is definitely ranked first. Shifting attacks, illusory body, comes with a different plane, and can be positioned for long-distance movement. Nima. This is simply omnipotent. Vaguely reveals a turbid coat of arms, unruly and arrogant talent, surges, denials, paralysis, a moment, hinders eternal sleep. The crawling steel princess. Suddenly Mu Feng realized that he couldn't sing anymore. As in the previous situation, Reiatsu is not enough. The corners of Mu Feng's mouth twitched. Would you like this? In the plot, how casually Landa releases Black Coffin, he just gave up singing. Advertisement. Why is it so difficult to get here? Mu Feng didn't want to think about it. Even if Aizen didn't get the collapsed jade, his spiritual power level definitely broke the Shinigami boundary several times. No way. Mu Feng can only reluctantly tear open the last super experience scroll. The level of Shinigami's ability has only increased from LV8 to LV9, but the proficiency has also reached 98.7%. With gritted teeth, Mu Feng directly bought 500 advanced experience scrolls from the God level mall, plus Mu Feng originally scroll of advanced experience saved. A full 1,376 scrolls of advanced experience. Without hesitation, all torn apart, all of the brain was piled on Shinigami. It was abruptly that the ability of Shinigami was piled up to the level of LV10, that is, the level of LVMAX, and the proficiency reached a value of 100%. Quote. Backquote Gong, Qian Nuo Zhao, congratulations to host, Shinigami ability broke through the limit and reached the level of LV11. After the proficiency reached its full value, the system sound suddenly sounded. It is the ability to collapse Jade, and the ability to directly promote Shinigami has broken the boundaries. For Shinigami, Reiatsu at full level represents Reiatsu at captain level. And breaking this boundary also means that Mu Feng is coming to the Shinigami world at this moment. He is a powerhouse beyond the captain level, although he is still a hit in the face of Shigekuni Yamamoto and Aizen. Vaguely reveals a turbid coat of arms, an unruly and arrogant talent, tides, denials, paralysis, and moments hinder eternal sleep. The crawling steel princess, the clay doll that constantly self-harms, combines, rebounds, and extends to the ground. Know your own powerlessness. Hado number 90 Black Coffin. Finally Mu Feng could sing Black Coffin's chanting spell completely. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 133. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. As the word Black Coffin fell, not far from Mu Feng's sight, black spiritual crystal walls appeared one after another. Between Setsuna, a huge black coffin was formed, erected on a hill not far away. It looks so breathtaking, as if to crush the entire space. Suddenly, countless black swords suddenly appeared around Black Coffin. Then, he plunged straight into the Black Coffin, densely packed, from all angles. If there is life in it, no matter where you are in Black Coffin, you will be pierced by the sword. His terrifying power. Although it may be a bit far behind Black Coffin, which is larger than the blue. But it can definitely damage or kill a 4 Emperors level powerhouse. Compared to Senbon Sakura Kajyoshi's profound Ichi, it may be a bit worse for biting a 1,000-edged flower. Mu Feng murmured, although the power of Black Coffin did not reach the point where he envisioned killing the 4 Emperors in a flash, Mu Feng was already very satisfied. After all, Black Coffin 783 is only Hado on the 90th. The reason why it was so bug in the original plot, is entirely a bonus of Landa's own. Even Hado, number 10, will definitely not be inferior to the red cannon in Landa's hands. After all, Landa's Reiatsu has reached the level that even the friend Hado is afraid of. After leaving Black Coffin, Mu Feng experimented with other keto. For example, Kang Huo Pen, Double Lotus Kang Huo Pen, Fiery Lightning Howl, Bakudo's 9 Strikes, Slap Toe Chasing Birds, 6 Rod Light Prison, 5 Pillar Iron Pipe, Sky Ting Kong Luo, Splitting Void. Mu Feng knows to sing. In fact, there are not a lot of keto mantras, at least they are very commonly used, so Shinigami is not a tasteless look. Advertisement. A few hours later, Mu Feng left Kamui's space contentedly. Eliminate the wood-style wooden wall on the inner wall of the cabin. Immediately, sitting lazily on the sofa aside, he shouted. BABY5, I'm a little thirsty. I'll be fine soon, Mr. Mu Feng. The voice of Baby 5 Nono sounded outside the cabin. In less than 3 minutes, Baby 5 walked in with coffee. His face flushed. It has been many times. Mu Feng is thirsty, and what he will do next, Baby 5 is very clear. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Although it has been many times, Baby 5 is still a little shy. 3 hours later, the happiness in Baby 5's eyes would overflow. Baby 5 was very poor when she was a child. After she was born, she was considered a waste of food and useless, and was finally abandoned by her mother. Later, Baby 5 was adopted by the Don Quixote family and became one of the 100 children that the Don Quixote family used to take in. Because of Corazon, everyone except him and Buffalo persisted for less than 2 days. He cried and quit the Don Quixote family. Advertisement. The reason Baby 5 was able to persevere was because of her childhood experience and her desire to feel needed by others. But this is the Baby 5 before, for the Baby 5 now. Mu Feng has even become her faith. She naturally no longer desires the needs of others. Mu Feng's order is everything to her, even if Mu Feng made Baby 5 suicide at this moment. Baby 5 will never hesitate. Bob, 2 days later, the waters near Cake Island. My lord, the Cake Island is in front of me. Ask for instructions. Guy stood straight, with a blazing warfare in his eyes, obviously he couldn't wait to fight. I will rush to Cake Island first. The battleship advances at full speed. After arriving at Cake Island, it immediately begins to clean up all the remnants of the Big Mom pirate group. Mukuro ordered. According to the news from Naval Headquarters, all the cadres of the Big Mom pirate group, that is, members of the Charlotte family, all gathered on Cake Island, in an attempt to use a large number of people to resist Mu Feng's action against them. In Mu Feng's view, this is simply a joke. 2 of Charlotte Linlin's strongest desert 4 stars have been killed by Mu Feng, leaving only the Biscuit Minister, Charlotte Cracker, who is not strong enough, and Juice Minister, Charlotte Smoky. Advertisement. Although the strength is also very good, but it is not enough for Mu Feng to do warm-up exercises. Mangekyo Sharingan appears and directly turns on Susanoo's status. Holding 2 Yasaka Guyu Jade, Mu Feng walks across the sea. Quick. Go ahead at full speed. Be sure to arrive at Cake Island within 10 minutes. Seeing Mu Feng committed suicide and entered the enemy line alone again, Guy was anxious in an instant and shouted. Every time Mu Feng charged into the battle, as an adjutant, Guy felt very humiliated. The appearance of such a huge figure like Susanoo, on Cake Island, the members of the Charlotte family, who had been waiting for a long time, were naturally discovered in the first place. Sir. Smoky. Marine White Bear appeared. The cadre in charge of intelligence rushed to Charlotte Smoky and said in a flustered manner. Charlotte Linlin died, as did the strongest star Charlotte Kata Curry. Now Charlotte Smoky is the parent of the Charlotte family and the leader and captain of the entire Big Mom pirate group. Cracker is the deputy leader. Why panic? Charlotte Smoky reprimanded the cadre in a deep voice. Although she is also very nervous, she knows that she can't show it at this moment. She can become the third in command of the Big Mom pirates. Charlotte Smoky not only possesses admiral-level strength, but also has a very determined belief. Cracker, Perospero, wait for the 3 of us to deal with the White Bear, and the rest will deal with the White Bear's Marine. A quick decision. After the all Marines are eliminated, don't hesitate, and besiege the White Bear at the same time. I don't believe it. Under the attack of the entire Big Mom pirate group, the White Bear can still carry it. Charlotte Smoky said sharply. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at Hot MTL Novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 134. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Bray. Charlotte Smoky looked at a woman who resembled an old witch. It was Charlotte Bray, the eighth daughter of Charlotte Linlin, who was capable of mirroring fruits. Charlotte Smoky continued. You have to pay attention, once we fall into defeat. Don't hesitate, immediately use the power of the mirror fruit to send us to the mirror space. Remember, this requires your own judgment. It is impossible for us to remind you during the battle, because it is very easy for the white bear to seize the opportunity and break the mirror, so that we can no longer escape into the mirror space. Do you understand? Quote. Charlotte Smoky looked at Charlotte Bewley with a serious tone. The reason why the cadres of the Charlotte family chose to head with Mu Feng on Cake Island is largely because of the existence of Charlotte Bu Lei. Even if they lose to Mu Feng, they are confident that they can escape. Charlotte Perospero, Charlotte Smoky, Charlotte Cracker. The Minister of Candy, the Minister of Juice, and the Minister of Cookies. Standing at the top of the Cake Island, the three of them looked at Susano coming from the sea with unprecedented solemn expressions. The three of them were silent when Mu Feng was about to land on Cake Island. Attack. Charlotte Smoky growled. Advertisement. Hard biscuit fragments. Charlotte Cracker launched the offense first. He is a biscuit fruit capable person, able to make and control biscuit infinitely. After attaching armament hockey, countless biscuits became hundreds of times more terrifying than steel cannonballs, enough to crack mountains and rocks, and all the biscuits poured into Mu Feng in Susano state. Candy Bomb. Charlotte Perospero, although not included in the dessert 4 stars. But his strength is definitely not inferior to Smoky and Cracker. Those with the ability to lick fruits are actually candy fruits. The sky is full of candies, and each candies is the size of a watermelon. The number of Cracker's cookie fragments is not necessarily small. Following Cracker's cookie fragments, it blasts towards Susano, and after touching the target, the candy will explode. That's why Charlotte Perospero's move is called a bomb. Juice Slimy Ocean. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. As Charlotte Smoky's voice fell, the ground under her feet suddenly shrank, and then a lot of sticky juice appeared in her wake. As long as the target is stuck by her sticky juice, the action will become slower and slower. Smoky often uses this trick to deal with enemies that are stronger than her. After repeated trials, she is one of her killers. The goo juice spreads out into a big net and pounces on Susano. Biscuit shards and candy bombs bombard Susano, just like tickling it. It is impossible to break the defense at all, and Mu Feng is directly ignored by Mu Feng. It was Charlotte Smoky's sticky juice, which was stuck on Susano, making Susano's joints a little stiff, and his body shape suddenly stopped and almost fell into the sea, but Mu Feng reacted very quickly, burning Amaterasu all over his body. The flame. Advertisement. Instantly burned all the viscous juice, and then retracted the pupil power, extinguished Amaterasu, otherwise Susano would not be able to hold Amaterasu. Damn it, it didn't work at all. Charlotte Smoky's face turned a little embarrassed. Originally, when she saw her sticky juice restrict Mu Feng's movement, she was still happy. But I didn't expect Mu Feng to break free from the restriction of sticky juice so easily. Looking at the Cake Island, Mu Feng, standing at Susano's eyebrows, suddenly smiled and said, "Are you finished attacking? Then it's time for me to attack." Yasaka's Guyu. Susano threw the 2 jade-shaped weapons he held in both hands directly at the Cake Island. Although it's only the size of a palm, it's relative to Susano. The 2 Yasaka hook jade pieces are tens of meters in size, rotating. Split the air, generate a gang wind, and blast towards the Cake Island. Not good. Hurry and get away. Zero seeking flowers. Seeing the Guyu of Yasaka that struck, Smoky and the 3 were all changed. Then one of them was hiding faster than one, and jumped directly away from the place. As soon as the 3 of them left, the Guyu of Yasaka had already attacked. Boom 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 boom. Advertisement. After 2 loud noises, the top layer of the Cake Island was directly flattened by Yasaka's Guyu, and the 3 Smokies who watched were even more stunned. Although they have heard of Mu Feng's ability before, this is the first time they have seen it with their own eyes. It's horrible. Cracker let out the hearts of the 3. Looking at Mu Feng again, there was a trace of fear mixed in. Because of the fear, the brain was also a little awake from a state full of hatred. Dot 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 dot. But Mu Feng defeated his mother, and how terrifying the mother is. The three of them know nothing better. This level of powerhouse is not something they can face at all. I am afraid it will be in a few rounds. Rout. Smokey naturally saw the fear of Cracker and Perospero. Because she is the same. With a gloomy face, he said, "Don't be afraid. After a few rounds of fighting, we will immediately hide in the mirror space. As long as we abandon the name of the Big Mom pirate group, first believe Marine will not pursue us." Hearing Smokey's words, the Crackers felt a little relieved. Biscuit Soldier. Candy Soldier. Cracker and Perospero didn't dare to be tough with Susano. They used the fruit ability to create a large number of soldiers, guarding them in front of them. Seeing this scene, Smokey's face turned black. Because of her fruit ability, there is no way to create guards such as Cookie Soldiers and Candy Soldiers. There is no way. Smokey can only use armament hockey to cover her body as a defense. Fortunately, she is the strongest of the three, and thinks she can still block Susano's attacks. If Mu Feng knew about Smokey's innocent thoughts, he would definitely be the first to attack her and let her know what a fist as big as a small mountain is. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 135. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Susano jumped up suddenly from the surface of the sea, and a huge wave blew under his feet. Susano suddenly jumped up, under the sunlight, like a demon god who came to the world in 9 days. But it fell, and the whole cake island that was smashed was shaking. Damn it, how can it be so scary? The violent shaking made Cracker unable to stand still. After all, he still had a thick layer of biscuit armor on his body. Biscuit Soldier. Attack. Controlling the Cookie Soldier, Cracker launched an attack on Susano. As for himself, he kept moving backwards, obviously not wanting to fight Mu Feng. However, how can Mu Feng make him do what he wants? I directly ignored the Biscuit Soldiers who attacked him. This thing was created by the ability of the Cracker fruit. Even if it was broken, the 5 or 70 could be restored instantly, so attacking the Biscuit Soldiers was completely useless. Susano's huge fist blasted directly at Cracker. Although he was huge, Susano's attack was not slow. In Setsuna, his fist had already hit Cracker's face, and the huge fist fell. Cracker dumbfounded. He had no idea that Mu Feng's attack would be so quick and decisive. There are obviously 3 people here, okay. Who is not good to pick? Why would the first object of attack choose himself? Charlotte Cracker was secretly bitter. But there is no way. Susano's fist is tens of meters large, Cracker is inevitable, armament hockey is covered on the hard biscuit armor. With double defense, Cracker thinks he can still withstand Susano's punch. But the truth is cruel. Susano punched Cracker's body and directly shattered the cookie armor. Advertisement. Then Susano's fist fell on Cracker. Broken breastbone. Punch. Cracker lost its combat effectiveness. Well, I'm not dead yet. Mu Feng muttered in surprise, raised his fist, and the terrifying fist hit Cracker again. Oops. Seeing this scene, Charlotte Smokey's face suddenly changed. If this punch falls, Cracker will undoubtedly die. Juice Slimy Ocean. Smokey used the sticky juice again, trying to limit Mu Feng's movements in an attempt to save Cracker. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. But Mu Feng has already suffered a loss, it is impossible to be fooled again. Before the sticky juice touched Susano's body, it suddenly ignited the jet black Amaterasu inflammation, burning the sticky juice. After the viscous juice was burned out, the Amaterasu flame fell on the ground and continued to burn, and under the control of Mu Feng's pupil power, it quickly surrounded Smokey. Squeeze juice. The moisture in the air was squeezed out by Smokey. Pour over the fire of Amaterasu. Water overcomes fire. She wants to extinguish the fire of Amaterasu. However, what surprised Smokey was that he squeezed out the water and poured it on the dark flame. Not only did he fail to extinguish the flame, but the flame burned more vigorously. It's weird. What kind of flame is this? Smokey showed fear and backed away again and again, unable to stop Susano. Advertisement. Susano's fist fell on Cracker's body. Without even the screams before his death, Cracker was directly blasted out of a pool of fleshy mud, and the entire battlefield was quiet. Immediately, fear grew in everyone's heart. Charlotte Cracker, But now the second strongest member of the Charlotte family, second only to Charlotte Smokey, was killed by the white bear with 2 punches. And although Charlotte Smokey is stronger than Cracker, there are limits to how strong it is. If Cracker is 2 punches, Smokey is 3 punches. Damn it, the white bear is so terrifying. Smokey's face is as embarrassed as it is. As one of the 4 desert stars, she has the strength close to Admiral, and she has not never fought with Marine Admiral. I have played against Aokiji, Kizaru, and Smokey. Both are Admiral. Why is the white bear so strong? Not an opponent at all. Escape. If you don't run away, it will be too late. Secretly gestured to Charlotte Bree, who was hiding by the side. Bree knew immediately, and the ability of Mirror Fruit was activated instantly. In the next second, a mirror appeared in front of every member of the Charlotte family. Seeing the mirror, Smoggy also breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he hides in the mirror space, no matter how powerful he is, he can't do anything about it. I am ready to hide in the mirror space. As long as the body touches the mirror, you can get in. Advertisement. So Smokey thought it was foolproof. But at this instant of time, the sudden change happened. If Mu Feng didn't know, maybe it would really allow Smokey to succeed. After all, it only takes Setsuna's time to hide in the mirror space. But, as early as 20 seconds ago, Mu Feng had seen it with his ability to predict the future. This scene. If he was prepared, Mu Feng would naturally not let him succeed. At the moment the mirror appeared, Susano suddenly let out a loud roar. The terrifying sound is completely sonic attack, and the sound waves pile up. Just 1/10,000th of a second, it shattered all the mirrors made by Bu Lei. Everyone in the Charlotte family was stunned in place. His mind was blank. Now 4.6, is it going to be trapped on Cake Island? How come? Bree was taken aback. When she activated the Mirror Fruit ability, she obviously avoided Mu Feng's sight. How could she be spotted? After a moment of stunned, Bu Lei wanted to activate Jing Jing Guo's ability again. However, it is too late. Susano's Yasaka Goyu directly hit her. No! Bree exclaimed in fear. Then Yasaka's Guyu was directly smashed into fleshy meat, which ended in the same way as Cracker. At this moment, the members of the Charlotte family panicked on Cake Island. Bree is dead, which means they only have a way to go to face Mu Feng. Despair spread in the hearts of every member of the Charlotte family. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 136. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Congratulations to the host, Kill Charlotte Bree, reward 23 high-level experience scrolls, and reward host for being a special life form. Different space mirror space. With the sound of the system falling, Mu Feng could feel that his consciousness was connected to a vast world, almost boundless. It should be the reward of killing Charlotte Bree in the different space, the mirror space. Storage space. Well, what's the use? I already have a space backpack and a Kamui space. Rewarding a mirror space is completely useless. Chicken ribs, chicken ribs. It's boring to eat, but it's a pity to discard it. For this thing, it's better to give a mirror fruit. Even if you don't eat it, you can exchange a lot of coupons. You must know that in Paramesha Devil Fruit, mirror fruit is also very good, at least worth 130 or 40 points coupon. Please note that the Mirror 10 image space is completely different from the space backpack and Kamui space. Compared with the two, the mirror space is more independent. The space backpack belongs to the ability given by the system and can only store objects. Kamui space belongs to the pupil space. If you want to store life forms, it will cost your pupils. The mirror space is different. If there are life forms in the mirror space, it does not need to consume any energy. To be more prepared, the mirror space should belong to the different planes. Based on a different plane of host, the value of the mirror space is definitely no less than Bengu in terms of value alone. If the host is willing, the system will recover the mirror space with 20,000 points. May I ask host, whether you choose to reclaim the mirror space? The sound of the system sounded coldly. Well, I didn't expect that I would have missed it. Just being able to store living things, Mu Feng knew it was a good thing. Advertisement. No, I won't take it back. Mu Feng said. What a joke. Take it back. System, you profiteer. You want to get 20,000 coupons for something worth no less than Bengyu, but Bengyu is worth 70,000. If you can bid 100,000, maybe I can think about it. White Bear. Let's surrender and imprison us in the great undersea prison. Charlotte Perospero suddenly said, interrupting Mu Feng's thinking. Seeing that the situation is not good, Charlotte Perospero directly chose to surrender. He is an old churros who knows better than anyone else. Although he chooses to surrender, he will be imprisoned in the great undersea prison, but if he continues to resist, he will. He was directly killed by the White Bear. In Charlotte Perospero's view, freedom is obviously insignificant compared to life. Patronizing the study of the mirror space, Mu Feng forgets that he is still fighting. Of course, the main reason is that the enemy is too weak. If it is against an opponent of the level of Whitebeard, Mu Feng would not dare to run away. Disarm Susano, wearing a cloak of justice and a mammoth blade at his waist. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Mu Feng walked slowly in front of Charlotte Perospero, smiled, and said, do you want to surrender? Then, Mu Feng looked around for a week. I want to surrender. Charlotte Perospero said again. Me, I also surrender. I don't know who it is, but another person speaks. Bang dang. Chong. Ding kang. Advertisement. It seems to have caused a chain reaction. Usually, it is the sound of the weapon still falling to the ground. Immediately, the whole Cake Island sounded. Surrender. I want to surrender. You are like this, which makes me very distressed. If you are all taken to the great undersea prison, it is estimated that it will directly occupy 2 floors. This will increase the workload of the Magellan director. It is better to directly let you go. Mu Feng said distressedly. Upon hearing Mu Feng's words, all members of the Charlotte family, including Charlotte Perospero, all looked happy. If Admiral the White Bear, you can let us go with great compassion. Then we promise that we will disappear like the Roger pirates and will never do anything wrong. Perospero quickly promised, with a face sincere. Roger pirates. Hee, are you good enough to compare with Roger pirates? Mu Feng said lightly with a contemptuous smile on his face. Charlotte Perospero looked embarrassed and could only smile. Also, we must know that the reason why the Roger pirates are still alive after the disbandment is not because they are honest, but because they know what they shouldn't know, as a hush fee, so they can live safely. Do you have this capital? And, you seem to be mistaken what I mean. What I want to say is, I do not accept surrender. So, I'm sorry, you only have a dead end today. Mu Feng shrugged and said lightly, as if he was just talking about a trivial thing. As soon as the voice fell, the mammoth blade from his waist had been pulled out. Suddenly, advertisement. 013 Charlotte Perospero didn't have time to react at all. He was directly dismembered from the position of the eyebrows. Until dying, Charlotte Perospero's eyes were still full of shock and confusion. The remaining power of the sword aura even cut off the entire Cake Island. At this time, Guy finally landed on Cake Island, and Mu Feng directly ordered, Guy, order the soldiers to form a 3-person team and start to clear all the pirates on Cake Island. I will deal with the pirates over 300 million, and leave the rest to you. Yes, Master Mu Feng. Guy replied very powerfully. Damn. Charlotte Smokey cursed secretly. It can be said that the mood has sunk to the bottom. Today, I am afraid that I am not lucky enough. Facing Mu Feng, Smoogie has no chance of winning at all. There is cheesecake and soda crackers. Well, if you burst out delicious orange juice, then it's perfect. Looking at Charlotte Smokey, Mu Feng said with a smile. Smokey frowned and didn't know what Mu Feng was talking about. Of course she didn't know, because it was an item exploded by Charlotte Snug and Charlotte Cracker. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 137. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Smokey wanted to resist, but Mu Feng went down. Smokey was killed directly by the knife. Mu Feng was taken aback, and then he muttered to himself with satisfaction, yes, it's really delicious juice. As expected by Mu Feng, Smokey burst out delicious juice. Then, Charlotte Dafu, Charlotte Irving, Charlotte Opella. No matter who can be called by name, who can't be called by name. Anyway, for Mu Feng, it was just a slash. People are constantly dying by Mu Feng's knife. Whether it is a man or a woman, There is no difference in Mu Feng's eyes, they are just damn pirates. Huh. Mu Feng was taken aback. Suddenly, a small cry came into Mu Feng's ears, and he couldn't help looking at it, only to see a thin body curled up in a corner, shivering. Charlotte Bryn. Mu Feng had a fate. Of course, not as a white bear, but as Senju Hashirama. When I came to Charlotte Linlin's tea party, I met Charlotte Bryn. At that time, it was similar to the current situation, and Charlotte Bryn was scared. Advertisement. Hey, woman, don't cry. Mu Feng patted Charlotte Bryn on the head with the knife face, and said. It's okay for Mu Feng not to say it, but when it comes to Charlotte Bryn crying more fiercely. Now, Mu Feng is a little bored. Frowning, he sternly said. Shut up, or I will kill you immediately, have you heard? As soon as Mu Feng's voice fell, Charlotte Bryn closed his mouth. She is not as innocent as she seems. It's simple, but you can't survive in a pirate group like Big Mom. Although on the surface she appears to be gentle and polite, but in fact she is unpredictable. She is good at acting and even better at imitating. In the plot, Bryn used her performance to make Luffy, Sanji and others think she was a kind girl, and she succeeded in attracting Sanji. In fact, it was to make the family assassinate the Vinsmock family, and she pretended to fall in love with Sanji. And fascinated the opponent, perfectly grasping the fragile aspect of the opponent's heart. It is absolutely the deepest city. Looking at Mu Feng, Charlotte Bryn dare not say a word. Mu Feng ignored Charlotte Bryn, but asked the system in his heart. System, if Bryn is killed, how likely is it to gain the ability related to the fruit of memory? Diaresis. For the fruit of memory, Mu Feng's eyes are tight. Able to read, take out, replace, and tamper with the memory of the specified object. The fruit of memory is definitely one of the few heaven-defying fruits in the Paramesha fruit. Although there is almost no bonus to combat power, its auxiliary effect is simply invincible. That is to say, Charlotte Bryn's strength is not strong. If her strength reaches the admiral level, tampering with the memories of several strong people of the same level, it is absolutely possible to create a 4 Emperors level power in New World. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The probability of rewards for killing is unknown. However, it is certain that it must be a memory fruit or an ability related to memory ability or an item. The system's answer is completely equivalent to not saying. The memory bread in Doraemon is also related to memory. If the reward for killing Bryn was this kind of reward, Mu Feng would have nowhere to cry. Although the thing was magical, it was a one-time item and was of no use. Advertisement. Want to live or die? Mu Feng looked at Charlotte Bryn and asked. Want to live, Charlotte Bryn said without hesitation. If you can live, who will choose to die? So from today, you are Marine's third-class Marine. What I ask you to do, you give me what to do. Also, don't ask why. Can it be done? If it can be done, stand up for me now. Can't if you do, I will send you to see Charlotte Linlin. Mu Feng said directly, without any nonsense. As soon as Mu Feng's voice fell, Charlotte Bryn stood up directly. He opened his mouth and said, I would like to become Marine and listen to Lord Whitebear's words. I will do whatever Lord Whitebear asks me to do. I will never resist Lord Whitebear's orders. Quote. Mu Feng was silent. Although there is nothing wrong with the words, Mu Feng always feels that the meaning is a little bit. Follow me, otherwise if I were killed by my soldiers later. I'm not responsible. After speaking, Mu Feng turned and left. Without any hesitation, Bulin followed within 1 meter of Mu Feng's back. When he saw Marine around him, he couldn't wait to grab Mu Feng's clothes. The suppression of Cake Island continues. Advertisement. It took nearly 3 hours to complete the clearance. Although there are many pirates on Cake Island, there are a total of 7,000 or 8,000 people, but the Marine that Mu Feng brought is only more than 1,200 people. But the main cadres of Big Mom have been killed by Mu Feng, and what is left is just some small shrimps, and they are all defeated. It is not at all the opponent of this group of elite Marines under Mu Feng. However, some of the pirates' counterattacks before they died still caused some casualties. Backquote report that all the pirates on Cake Island have been eliminated, please instruct. Guy looked at Mu Feng and asked for instructions. Report casualties. Mu Feng said lightly. Yes. In this battle, a total of 1,202 soldiers on our side were wounded and 231 people were injured, of which Li Dezhao were seriously injured and 54 were killed, and 37 were killed. The remains of all the soldiers who died in battle have been collected. Kaido reports. Yeah, Mu Feng nodded. Although it is very sad, it is not sorrow. Indeed, if Mu Feng makes a move, the group of pirates on Cake Island will be wiped out by him in less than 3 minutes, but Mu Feng did not choose to do so, because he needs an iron-blooded master, not a group. Obedient doll. As a Marine, from the moment he joined Marine, he should have the consciousness to fight the pirates to death. For all soldiers who died in battle, their family members will be given 50 million Baileys at one time, and will be given double the living allowance in the future. Those who are seriously injured and cannot continue to work in Marine will receive 30 million Baileys at a time, and the same will be doubled in the future. Living allowance. Mu Feng ordered. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 138. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. When the surrounding Marines heard it, they all looked at Mu Feng in disbelief, and were immediately moved. They participate in Marine, all with justice, dreams, passion. But as long as they are human, they have parents and families. Those who can become the Marines on the Mu Feng ship are the elites among the elites. They had already had the consciousness to fight to death with the pirates. However, in addition to the status of sea soldiers, they also have sons, husbands, fathers, all kinds of identities. They are not afraid of death in battle, but they are afraid that there will be no one to take care of their children and wife after the battle. After all, as men, they are the backbone of the family. And now, Mu Feng has resolved their concerns. 50 million Baileys. If you save a little bit, it is enough for a family of 4 to spend 50 years, and double the living allowance. You must know that in the pirate world, Marine is a high-risk occupation. In order to encourage young people to participate in Marine, Marine may provide a very substantial living allowance every month. 50 million Baileys, plus double the living allowance. Even if they died in battle, their family members will definitely be able to live a very good life. When encountering such a superior 420, how could the Marines not be moved? Master Mu Feng. Guy is also very moved, but as an adjutant, he has to fulfill his obligations. After hesitating, he still said, this, but it is not in compliance with the regulations. Will Marshal Sengoku disagree? Yeah, sir. There is no need to make an exception for us. According to Marines regulations, it is enough. Behind Guy, a veteran said. Yes, it's enough. My lord, don't make an exception for us. Afterwards, the seamen present all spoke. Advertisement. Mu Feng smiled, looked at the veteran who spoke first, and said, Anderson, when I was a major general, you were my soldier. I remember, you have an elderly mother and a wife. With an 8-year-old son, right? Yes. Yes, my lord. Anderson was a little surprised. Even more moved. He is just a very ordinary Marine on the Mu Feng ship, not even Cao Chong, just a bit older base. Anderson did not expect that Mu Feng would remember his family situation so clearly. Mu Feng continued. I know that Marine's pension is enough to feed the family. But if it's you, Anderson, you don't want your wife to work harder. You don't want your child to go to the best school in the future. Yes. After a moment of silence, Anderson said, he couldn't deceive himself. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Since you are fighting for me, it is natural to enjoy all this. Mu Feng said lightly, looking at the Marines in front of him. Then he looked at Guy and said, don't worry about that much, just do as I said. If the Marshal asks me in the future, let the Marshal ask me. Also, in the future, all soldiers who died under my command will be handled in this way. Quote. Yes, Master Mu Feng. Guy replied. He just reminded Mu Feng that since Mu Feng has made a decision, Guy will follow it. After all, he is loyal to Mu Feng, not Marine. In addition, starting from today, the training of all soldiers will be doubled. Only in the face of a group of unscrupulous pirates, 37 Marines died. Are you shit-eating? Next time, if the number of people killed in the battle exceeds 10, double the amount of training. Sweat more during training, you won't bleed during battle, understand? Mu Feng said sharply. Understood. The seamen said in unison. Advertisement. Understood. Are you girls? Since you understand, speak louder. Mu Feng was dissatisfied and sternly said again. Understand. 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 With 3 loud shouts, the shaking cake island seemed to be shaking. Charlotte Bryn behind Mu Feng was so frightened that her legs weakened. If she hadn't been supporting Mu Feng, she would have been sitting directly on the ground. She had never seen such a fight. Mu Feng nodded in satisfaction. After a pause, he opened his mouth and said, "Collect the valuable treasures on Cake Island. For the sealed warehouses of gold and gems, if Bailey is the case, everyone will share it equally." After half a day, set off for Dressrosa. "Yes, Master Mu Feng," Guy replied. Then they arranged for the seamen to start collecting them on Cake Island. From the beginning to the end, Guy did not look at Charlotte Bryn standing behind Mu Feng, although he knew that Charlotte Bryn must be a member of the Big Mom pirate group. But like the baby 5 at the time, this is not something he cares about. Baby5, her name is Charlotte Bryn, and you will be in charge of it from now on. You can leave it to her to do everything you need, don't make yourself too tired. Advertisement. Pointing to Charlotte Bryn, Mu Feng said to Baby5. "No, Master Mu Feng, it's not tiring to serve the adults." Baby 5 moved. When I first saw Charlotte Bryn, Baby 5 was nervous for most of the day. She thought that Mu Feng was not going to want herself anymore. Unexpectedly, it was Mr. Mu Feng who was afraid that he was too tired, so he couldn't help being touched, and his eyes were full of love when he looked at Mu Feng. "Work hard. Don't think about deceiving others with disguise. I know you better than anyone, you know." Mu Feng looked at chapter 139. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. "Of course, it's beautiful." Mu Feng repeated again, and then said, "Well, your house is next door, the same room as Baby5. I hope you can get along with each other peacefully. Don't be intrigued, otherwise I will really know how to do it." Very distressed. "Yes, Lord Mu Feng." Baby 5 said. "No, Lord Mu Feng." Charlotte Bryn also said busy. Dressrosa, the royal palace. Diamante, how are the results of Geis's research there? Doflamingo looked sullenly at Diamante, who had lost his right arm, and asked irritably. In recent days, he has been driven crazy by Kaido. In the first battle in the Chambord Islands, Kaido saw the strength of Mu Feng, especially Senbon Sakura Kajiyoshi's profound meaning, a 1,000-blade flower, which is definitely a move that can severely damage or even threaten his life. Kaido likes suicide and he is not afraid of death. But as the great pirate who came to the 4 emperors, he also had a dream. Advertisement. He wants to start a top war that can upend the world. Before the dream is completed, he doesn't want to die boringly. And now, Marine has the power to kill him. Kaido naturally has a sense of crisis and wants to speed up the accomplishment of his dream plan. The first step is to create an invincible devil fruit unit. However, there are not so many devil fruits in the world to squander Kaido, and even the world government cannot create a devil fruit troop with 800 years of background. Even the deal with Mu Feng that day used some tasteless devil fruit. Of course, Mu Feng doesn't care about this. For Mu Feng, it's just exchange points. There is no way to collect so many devil fruits. Kaido wants to give up this plan. It was at this time that Doflamingo appeared, and Kaido saw the possibility of realizing the plan, which is the man-made devil fruit. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Very bold idea. The reason why devil fruit is called the secret treasure of the sea is because of its unrepeatable characteristics. Legend has it that there is a devil fruit tree in a certain corner of the world, and all devil fruits fall from it. There is a devil in every devil fruit, so there can be no 2 identical devil fruits in the world. The demons all hate each other, so the same person can only consume 1 devil fruit in his life. Of course, Mu Feng knows that the legends are all fake, but the facts are not that complicated. There is no devil fruit tree at all, and there are no demons in devil fruit. Devil fruit is just an external manifestation of the rules of the pirate world. It is impossible for ordinary human bodies to carry the power of the 2 rules. Naturally, they are eating too. Outside of devil fruit, it will explode and die, unless it is a mutated body like Blackbeard, which can carry 2 abilities. Originally, Kaido sneered at Doflamingo's cooperation. Advertisement. But when the evil scientist, Guy saw Current really took out the experimental product, Kaido changed his mind. Doflamingo acts as an intermediary, and Geyser Current and Kaido reached an agreement to provide Kaido with a large amount of zone artificial devil fruit. This guy Doflamingo made no little profit in the middle. Naturally, once Kaido encounters any problems, Doflamingo will be forced. The middleman is not so good. For the first time, he realized that he used to use his strength to overpower others, but in front of Kaido, Doflamingo can only admit counsel. Dover, Geyser is making every effort to make it, but the survival rate of the man-made devil fruit is too low, so there are very few finished products now. Diamante replied. Damn it, then grab some dwarfs of the Dongtata clan and let them go to the dark factory to grow artificial devil fruit for me, or they will say that their princess Mancheri is about to die. Doflamingo yelled irritably. In order to be able to grow artificial devil fruit, Doflamingo imprisoned Princess Mancheri of the Kingdom of Dongtata, and lied to the people of the Kingdom of Dongtata that she was seriously ill. Need to plant smile fruit, man-made devil fruit, for treatment. The simple Dongtata clan can easily believe it. So Doflamingo imprisoned 500 Dongtata people in the dark factory to help him make artificial devil fruit. Zero seeking flowers. Yes, young master. Diamante nodded in response. Pollen. 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 Suddenly, there was a rush of phone bugs, and Doflamingo frowned because it was not the phone bug he and Kaido had contacted. Who? Doflamingo said in a bad tone, he was not in a good mood right now. Advertisement. Listen to the tone, you seem to be unhappy recently. Yo, who else in New World would dare to provoke the famous Tianyasha? Let's listen. The voice of abuse came from the phone bug. Zero. Who are you? Hurry up, or I will kill you. Although the sound is a bit familiar, Doflamingo didn't think much about it. Since you know your phone worm, it must be someone you know. Except for the 4 emperors, in New World, he, Doflamingo, didn't dare to laugh at himself like this. Thinking of this, Doflamingo has already imposed a death sentence on the person on the other end of the phone worm, just to vent his recently suppressed anger. Kill me. That's okay. 2 hours later, I will appear in the port of Dressrosa. I am waiting for you to kill me. Bring more people, or I'm afraid you can't kill me. By the way, since I never remembered who I am. Then let me tell you the hard way. I am a white bear. After speaking, Mu Feng directly hung up the phone worm. The expression on Doflamingo's face was instantly dull. Then, it gradually became difficult to look. He never thought that the man who called him would be this evil star, and he. Dover, what do you do now? He heard the conversation with the phone worm just now. Diamante recognized Mu Feng's voice, but he did not have time to remind Doflamingo. Doflamingo's complexion was blue, silent, and his teeth squeaked. After a while, a few words came out in his mouth. Call the cadre of the family and meet him. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Charlotte Bryn said, Yes, my lord. Charlotte Bryn whispered. At the same time, the feeling that Mu Feng is more and more unfathomable, even in the Charlotte family, few know his true character. In addition, don't cover your forehead with bangs in the future. The third eye is given to you by God. It belongs to you and you should be proud of it, not inferiority. I think your third eye is very beautiful, Mu Feng said. You said, it's beautiful. Bulin was taken aback and looked at Mu Feng in amazement. The reason why her personality has become like this is mainly because when she was young, she was bullied by brothers and sisters because of her 3 eyes, and was disgusted by Charlotte Linlin and asked her to cover her with bangs, which led to personality becomes more and more distorted. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtl novel for free. Advertisement. Chapter 140. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Meet him. Yes, young master. Diamante was a little reluctant. After all, Mu Feng had cut off his right arm, but seeing Doflamingo's gloomy complexion, he forced what he wanted to say. Suppressed and went back. Under the emergency call of Doflamingo, Toripal, Diamante, Pika, Sugar, Violet. All the cadres of the Don Quixote family gathered. Diamante, what happened? Toripal looked at Diamante and asked. Doflamingo's complexion is not good, so it's better to have less trouble. So Toripal did not ask Doflamingo, but Diamante. Marine White Bear is coming. Diamante didn't look good either. White Bear. Toripal exclaimed. Then he asked in surprise, White Bear. What did he come to R. 8080, Dreyrosa for? I don't know. Diamante shook his head. Then he paused and said, let's pay attention. When the phone worm was talking just now, the young master and the White Bear were a little unhappy. What's going on? Torapal asked. Now is not the time to explain. Please explain, especially Pika. Don't cause trouble to the young master. Diamante said. N. Torapal looked solemn and nodded. Advertisement. Wearing a large cloak of pink feathers, blood-red sunglasses, and a gloomy face, Doflamingo stood in the port of Dreyrosa without saying a word. Doflamingo did not speak, and none of the cadres of the Don Quixote family standing behind him dared to speak. Not to mention, Diamante and Torapal, the highest cadres of the family, had already explained to them just now, so I can't say anything later. One sentence. Staring at the sea, suddenly, Doflamingo's pupils shrank suddenly. On the sea in the distance, a battleship was approaching. Doflamingo whispered. Fur. Marshal-class battleship, it is truly the strongest marine. As the battleship approached, the cadres of the Don Quixote family also saw clearly that a marine battleship was approaching, and they were all surprised. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Soon, the battleship moved into the port. Wearing the marine justice cloak, Mufeng was standing straight at the bow of the ship. The battleship stopped. Mufeng jumped down and walked towards Doflamingo. Doflamingo's complexion changed, and in the end he smiled and greeted him, and said, Fur. Admiral the White Bear is a rare visitor. I don't know what's going on. The phone worm just said it, so why did he come over in person? By the way, I just wiped out all the rubbish of the Big Mom pirate group. I made a special trip to find you. You think too much of yourself, Doflamingo. Mufeng said lightly. Hearing Mufeng's words, Doflamingo's face instantly became stiff, clenched his fists, breathing heavily, and finally suppressed his anger. And Mufeng, completely ignoring Doflamingo's feelings, said, Come on, let's continue the topic in the phone worm just now. You said you are going to kill me. The trash behind you was brought by you to kill me. People, it seems a bit difficult. After speaking, Mufeng looked at the cadre behind Doflamingo, his eyes full of contempt. Advertisement. Admiral the White Bear, that was just a joke just now. Doflamingo suppressed his anger. A joke. Okay. Doflamingo, you are really a humorous person who was kicked out of the house. Mufeng said with a smile. Although it is not stated explicitly, the meaning in Mufeng's words is obvious. It was in Hong Guo's mockery that Doflamingo was kicked out of Mary Geoise by celestial dragons. The ordinary cadres of the Don Quixote family did not understand, but the three top cadres all knew very well the identity of Doflamingo, which was definitely his lifelong taboo. Hearing Mufeng spoke out without any scruples, the three of them all changed in color. Now, it's going to be over, as expected. White Bear. Doflamingo's voice came out of his throat, staring at Mufeng stubbornly and said, Are you kidding me? Oh. Mufeng raised his eyebrows. Then jokingly said, Really, I was discovered. You were right, I'm playing tricks on you. But, so what? I want. Doflamingo just uttered two words. Suddenly, a fierce aura radiated from Mufeng, oppressing Doflamingo. Conqueror's Haki. When killing Charlotte Lingling, a large number of Conqueror's Haki exclusive experience scrolls were dropped, but Mufeng's Conqueror's Haki was directly upgraded to the LVMAX level, and the proficiency directly soared to 100%. Then with the help of Bengyu's power, Mufeng's Conqueror's Haki broke the boundaries and was promoted to the LVMAX 12 level as it should be. Advertisement. Different from Armament Haki and Observation Haki, it is possible to break the boundaries just by exercising constantly. Conqueror's Haki wants to break the boundaries, but it can't be achieved by exercise. What he needs is boldness and spiritual improvement. Mufeng knows that Conqueror's Haki breaks the boundaries of the strong, but also only one hand. Redhead, Whitebeard, Garp, Rayleigh, Charlotte Linlin. And now, Charlotte Linlin has been FK'd to death by Mufeng. Although Doflamingo also has Conqueror's Haki. But in the plot, when fighting with Luffy, his Conqueror's Haki can't actually play a suppressing role. Obviously, Conqueror's Haki has a limited level. Facing Mufeng's Conqueror's Haki fiercely, Doflamingo turned pale. What he just wanted to say, he abruptly held back. Okay, Marine still has a bunch of 1.5 things. I don't have time to waste with you. I heard that you arrested Princess Mancheri from the kingdom of Dongtata and 500 workers from the Dongtata clan. They give it to me. Mu Feng said lightly. Hearing Mu Feng's words, Doflamingo's eyes showed a trace of panic. White Bear Admiral, I don't know what you're talking about. The Tata family. I know them, they live in Dreyros Agrimbit. Doflamingo Sansley explained. The labor of the Dongtata tribe is of great importance and is the most important part of the manufacture of man-made devil fruit. Of course, Doflamingo is not willing to give them to Mu Feng. Shut up. Mu Feng interrupted Doflamingo, and then looked at him, with a joking expression on his face. Do you think? The transaction between yourself and Kaido is very secretive. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Chinese MTL fan fiction, second element novel can be read at hotmtlnovel for free. Advertisement.